All right, y'all. We can praise, esteem, and honor the honor and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. We're going to pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come by Abba's name, and you receive me not. But another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Shalom, dear Jay and Mika. Each was had them, man. Shalom, Brother Herman, man. First, Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Shalom to me. Whew. Likewise, you wives, in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, that they also may without the word be won by the conduct of the wives, while they behold your chaste conduct with fear, whose adorning let it not be that of outward of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or the putting on of apparel, but the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, of a meek and quiet ruach, which is in the sight of Elohim of great price. For after this manner in the old time, the Kadash women also who trusted in Elohim, or adorned themselves, being in subjection to their own husbands. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters you are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. Peace, Brother Nate. Likewise, you husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So, with that being said, we're going to look at weaker vessel one more time. Weaker. Athanase. What's happening, so? Weak, informed, feeble. Strengthless in applications, literal, figurative, moral, feeble, impotent, sick, without strength, weaker. Vessel. Of course, as you should remember, this is skyos, this is vessel, a chosen instrument, especially a wife as contributing to the usefulness of the husband. What's happening with your Omar, man? So with that being said, go to Genesis 3 and 15. Well, I really want 16, but it's okay. And I'll put enmity between you and the woman, between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In sorrow you shall bring forth children, and your desire to your husband, and he shall rule over you. Now, it was funny because we were having, Shalom, Brother Robert. We were having this conversation the other day. People believe that Eve didn't have birth pains. That's not what it said. That is not what it says. He said he will multiply, will greatly multiply, which is double rabah, to make great, to enlarge, to increase, to multiply. But we want to look at sorrow, and that's what we're going to zero in on. As it pertains to showing the honor to the weaker vessel on the twofold tip. Yes.
It's real white dirt. It's hot. Where your head?
Oh.
It's hot.
Shalom, Mother Shalom.
It's head. It's biting dumb. It's hot real hair.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's hard. It's real bird someone. It's hard real hey.
Okay.
It's hard.
Thank you for sharing. It's a bone. It's the word. Stop. That is ayin, sad, ba, u, and nun. It's a bone. Ayin, sad, ba, u, and nun. Pain, labor, hardship, sorrow, toil. Again, specifically pain. Shalom, Mama Steph. So what does this mean? If you're going to show honor to the weaker vessel, I think we were talking about this as forth as the weaker part from Isaiah chapter 1. Shalom, Sister Regina. Let's take a look at it from this aspect. Isaiah 1 again. I said stop it. That means you, boy. That means you. I don't want that son. Give it back to him. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 4. Thank you, son. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahuwah, they have provoked the Kadash one of Yasharal. Unto anger they are gone away backwards. Why should you be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, the whole heart faint. From the sole of the foot even to the head, there's no soundness in it, but wounds, bruises, and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. Now, with that being said, come over here to the book of Proverbs. I want to say it's chapter 11. Let me make sure. This particular passage was in my head the other day. We didn't get around there to it. Come over here to Proverbs 13 and 15. Yes, Jamal. Matter of fact, let me just back it up a little bit. And you know what? Verse 8. And I'm gonna go over something, man. We were having a conversation with a dude, man. And somebody asked him just a specific question. I'm gonna tell you something. Junk really pissed me off. Junk, a lot of stuff these niggas say pissed me off. Not for the aspect of their doctrinal beliefs, because that's not gonna piss me off because I don't care enough. You know what I'm saying? Like what somebody else believes, if it's contrary to what I believe, I don't care enough for that to piss me off. You know what I'm saying? That shows a little bit too much of an emotional engagement on something that you cannot control. I just don't care. But when people say certain things, man, and they're not representative of who they say they represent or how they say they live, and they can be bold and plain with it, that's some real sucker stuff in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And that there piss me off.
Why do you need a baby? Why is that?
That's mine. That's a fruit soda.
Did you throw it
Yep. Yep, that's a fruit soda. You know what it is. Proverbs 13 and 8. You know what? Because there's other verses that's coming up, and I just desire to use them as I'm looking at them. So just go to verse 1. I'll work my way to 15 and still keep it in the context of what we're talking about. Say, a wise son hears his father's instruction, but a scorner hear not rebuke. Now, of course, you know instruction is musar, that's discipline and chastening. If we're looking at husbands, dwell with your wives according to knowledge, then a wise son is going to hear that instruction on how to dwell with his wife. Shalom, Brother Margaret. And we know that the son heard this instruction when he dwelt with his father. See, listen, go to Matthew 17. How may I help you, Dwayne Jamal? May I assist you, sir? I don't appreciate you striking me, sir, but thank you. I want you to come to Matthew chapter 17. I want you to look at verse 5. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, "This is my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased. Hear ye him." Now, shalom, Brother Marvin. Man. The aspect of things is just mentioning that is, he says, "Good evening, Lord Mark." Shalom, Brother Ernest, man. You know, a wise man to be heard, where he says that a wise son will take the instruction of his father. He'll take the discipline, he'll take the chastening, he'll take the instruction. You know, a lot of people don't listen to their parents. Most specifically, you know, in our community, a lot of us, you're not raised with a masculine figure in your household. So the aspect of the thought process of following the instruction of a man is a very foreign concept to a lot of people in our community, unfortunately. This is a conversation that we've had several times over the course of years. You know what I'm saying? So when we come back to Proverbs chapter 13 and we look at verse 1, and he's telling you that a wise son will hear his father's instruction, but a scorner won't hear rebuke. Now, you know, a scorner is a mocker. When we look at a lot of the instances where the people dealt with the prophets or dealt with Mashiach, things of this nature, the mockers never could be corrected. Now, Psalms 101 tell you not to sit in the seat of the scornful. You shouldn't be sitting around people who scorn and mock. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that you should participate in. Matter of fact, Psalms 101 tells you you're blessed when you don't sit in the seat of the scornful. So someone who was a mocker, come over here to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. I'm sorry. Second Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Second Peter 3 and 1. The second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, and both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance, that you be mindful of the words which were spoken by the Kadash prophets, and of the commandments of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust. See, this is the pause. One of the main reasons why scoffers won't hear rebukes is because they're going to walk after their own desires. These are certain things that you got to peep. I didn't also go into greater details I would like about, you know, he knoweth our frame, but we are but dust. Is forth is dwelling with your wife according to knowledge. That's something that you have to understand. But you also have to understand the things that's going on around you. And what I mean from this aspect, because we were having this conversation also. One of the biggest mistakes that dudes in the word make is all women are not supposed to submit to you. Only the women who are under your authority are supposed to submit to you. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, dudes feel like we in the word, it's their job to go around and rebuke and chastise and bring under authority every woman walking the earth. Man, that's not your job, blood. I don't even know why you would want to take on such an endeavor. You know what I'm talking about? The only reason why you would want to take on such an endeavor is because you're vagina deprived, or you felt like your mama was an unbearable, incorrigible, despicable woman to deal with. Because we read it when we started in 1 Peter 3, it say, wives, submit to your own husbands. The only women who are supposed to submit to you are women under your authority. That's it. You know what I'm saying? If your mama husband is dead, your mama would be under your authority. Your sister would be under your authority if she has no husband. Your wife is under you. Whoever is under your authority, that's who's supposed to yield to you, man. I'm mentioning this because the text says, are we to judge those that are without or those that are within? Those that are without are already judged. Man, you can't be going around here trying to make people submit to a God whom they reject. That's why y'all niggas be frustrated. You know what I'm talking about? Man, you gotta let people be. That's not my problem. See, people hear that, they think it sounds harsh, but that's not my problem. Because while you're giving all this energy to people who don't belong to you, you're not giving the energy to the people who do belong to you. And Yahuwah don't operate like that. He would rather give his energy to those who belong to him. And if people on the outside see how we treat each other, how we talk to each other, then they might want to come in. That's what it meant when he was talking about, let the wives win her husband who's unbelieving without the word, but by her conduct and not her words. which goes back to what's in Romans when you pay attention to what he said there on this man's word is being blasphemed because of your conduct. Because most of us would rather talk than live it. You know what I'm saying? Just live it. Think about every time you open your mouth. Are you exemplifying this man? Are you exemplifying this man in your interactions with your wife, with your kids, with your brothers, with strangers? Everybody. Because you don't, this is something we notice, but you don't really realize this, is that the enemies of God are always looking for a reason to have something to say against him. Don't let your behavior be the cause to let a wicked nigga run their mouth. You know what I'm saying? If they gonna run their mouth, let it be lies. You know what I'm talking about? Let them speak evil of your good conduct in Mashiach, like Peter put it, so on your part he is esteemed. But don't let it be because you don't exemplify what you represent. Because these people be watching, looking for faults. I hope y'all know that. You know what I'm talking about? Now you should say, well, why should my liberty be judged by this here, man? Man, you got to know the game, blood. This is when this man say a wise son hears his father instruction, and this man told you be you perfect like your father in heaven is perfect. Don't give these wicked people no room to open their mouth. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that, man. You got to put you to the side because these people walking after their own lust. That's what scoffers do. They want to mock and scoff because they want to do what they want to do. This man told you be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. So you have to be on point. Indeed, the Lord was scrutinized on every corner. He never gave his enemies a chance to dare speak a word against him, and it be true. You know what I'm talking about? And it be true. They said a lot of things about him, but none of it was true. That man could have went around there slapping people up, cussing people out, doing all type of stuff. But it would have ruined his testimony, man. It would have gave his enemies room to find fault with him. We don't want to give these wicked people no room because they be looking. Now, don't get me wrong. You got to be a real miserable individual to go around looking for faults in other people. You got to be a miserable person to do that. But there's a lot of miserable people out here. That's the reality of the situation. I ain't telling you what it shouldn't be, what it should. That doesn't matter. How I think things should be or how people should behave, that doesn't really matter. The reality is what's actually happening. And how do you move based on what's actually happening and not what you think should happen or what you feel should happen or what you believe should happen. That's not reality. I have to deal with reality. And the reality is this. Let your righteousness speak for you and don't give these wicked people no room to blaspheme. You know what I'm talking about? Because these people be looking. Remember, we were talking about it the other day, right? Because it came up because we were talking about David because niggas was trying to be funny and come up with all this other extra stuff and other type of nonsense instead of just accepting the fact, hey, man, the nigga wrong, God punished him, bro. It's not that deep. You know what I'm saying? But people want God to punish people how they feel like he should punish people. Or that he should kill who they feel like he should kill. That man can do what he wants. And it's not my place to tell him when, where, or how to do it. Because that's above my pay grade. You know what I'm saying? I can't go to a king and tell a king how to rule. The same way I couldn't go to another man and tell him how to run his house. That's his land. That's his house. That's his inheritance. That's not my place. A lot of people's problem is they don't know their place. That's why I said, man, if that woman ain't your wife, that woman ain't got to submit to you, cuz. What's wrong with y'all? You trying to impress and impose yourself on people that you don't have that type of authority over. Shalom, 10K. And that junk is causing a lot of discontentment, a lot of resentment, a lot of strife and frustration upon amongst the people because you don't know how to stay in your lane, man. And just play your position. Just play your position. Be at peace. Play your position. Life will be better that way. You know what I'm saying? Focus on what you can control, which is your behavior. That's the only thing that you can control. You can't control nobody else's behavior. You can't control nobody else's mouth, but you can control yours. No one else can make you talk any type of way. Can't nobody make you behave any type of way. You speak and behave that way because that's what you wanted to do. Because if another person has power over you to make you talk a certain type of way or make you behave a certain type of way, you are 100% carnal and in no way in control of your life whatsoever. And Satan can toss you around like a rag doll because you powerless. Didn't the man say, if the let me just read it, man. Come over here. What is it? Mark chapter 3. Look at what this man said right here. And I'm going to get to y'all what this wicked nigga said earlier, man. This nigga wicked as hell. You know what I'm talking about? Mark chapter 3, verse 2. I'm talking about this is a different type of wicked, too. That junk, that just pissed me off on another level. That ain't really had nothing to do with no word. It has something to do with word, but it ain't had nothing to do with no word. Because that junk sour as hell, man. That junk sour as hell. And he called unto him and he said unto them in parables, how can Hashatan cast out Hashatan? If a Malkuth be divided against itself, that Malkuth can't stand. And if a bot be divided against itself, that bot can't stand. If Hashatan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man and then he will spoil his house. You can only be powerless if you bound up by the devil. If somebody can dictate how you behave and how you talk, that means Satan got you in the weevil lock. Boy, you screwed. So that means let the Lord have you in the weevil lock and know how to behave yourself. Say 3 witnesses on the matter. I saw a video about today about having 100% of control of yourself. Yeah, you have to have 100% of control of yourself because no one is responsible for your behavior but you. Nobody made you. Nobody. If you say you triggered, that means something has power over you to make you behave in an untoward way. But at the end of the day, that's how you want it to behave. One of the fruits of the Spirit and evidence that the word is in you is self-control. So you mean to tell me you ain't got self-control? So you mean to tell me you feel like you have a license to say and do whatever you want because somebody made you upset? Nigga, that's what a toddler does. That's what my daughter do. My daughter screams and hollers and stomps her foot and lashes out when somebody says something she don't like or says something and she want to do the opposite. You supposed to be grown. Then you say you supposed to be a saint, a son or daughter of God. But another person can make you behave in an untoward fashion. That means the Spirit ain't with you because you ain't got no self-control. You got to have self-control. Where the discipline at? It said by instruction. That's discipline. You mean you ain't got discipline? You ain't got no discipline, man. You ain't got nothing. He said, especially as men, we can't afford. Nah, man can't be afford to be triggered. Man get triggered, he might pull a trigger. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, you got to have self-control. And a lot of people don't have self-control. Well, a lot of people don't have self-control. And you got to have self-control. Without discipline, you have nothing. To be 100% honest with you. What are you going to accomplish in life with no discipline? Absolutely nothing. That's right. He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that's broken down without wall. And you already know, man, if you ain't got control over your spirit, Satan can overtake you at any time. So it's inexcusable. There's no excuse for it. And that's the problem. I know that we carnal is forfeits your composition is forfeits being flesh and dust and ashes. But if the word is in you and you in the word, there has to come a point in time where you can no longer use these excuses to justify untoward behavior. It's just not acceptable. Do better. And that's why he say a scoffer will not hear rebuke, because a scoffer is going to want to go according to their desires. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 4. Matter of fact, I don't need no more because that's what I wanted. I apologize. Back to Proverbs 13. Verse 2. A man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressors shall eat violence. I think that's self-explanatory. He that keep his mouth keep his life, but he that open wide his lips shall have destruction. See, pause. Go to James chapter 3. This is what that go to. That man say, he that keep his mouth. What is that, to keep your mouth? That is Nasar. That's the guard, to watch over, to keep kept closed. He said, if you keep your mouth, you keep your life. But if you open wide your lips, you will have destruction. That is mekatah, that is destruction, that is terror, that is dismay, that is ruin. So when you read what the Apostle James right here in chapter 3, verse 1, maybe again, this is another instance of this will give more insight to why he wrote what he wrote. I think we looked at something else when it came to this. I can't recall specifically what it was, but I know we did. The Apostle James, where is it? My page turning is terrible, but the Epistle of James, chapter 3, verse 1. And listen to what he says. My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. For many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same as a perfect man is able to bribe the whole body. So that goes into what we're looking at in Proverbs when they say, if you keep your mouth, you can keep your life. You know what I'm talking about? And I think we talked about that last week with a soft answer, turning away wrath. But nevertheless, behold, we put bits in the horse's mouth and they may obey us. We turn their whole body. Behold, also the ships, which though they be so great and are driven of fierce winds, yet they are turned about with very small helm, whatsoever the governor listeth. Even so, the tongue is a little member in both great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindled. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So the tongue among our members, that it defile the whole body and set on fire the course of nature. It is set on the fire of hell. For every kind of beast and birds and serpents of things in the sea is tamed, and have been tamed of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is unruly, evil, full of deadly poison. Now, again, the root of the matter is this. If you can keep your mouth, you can keep your life. But if you open it wide, you can get your head bust. You know what I'm talking about? When you look at even situations when Mashiach was accosted, this man is justified. He did nothing wrong, and he didn't say nothing to these people. Now, we've talked about that many times in the past. Man, you don't have to justify yourself to these people. When people are coming to mock at you, when people are coming to accuse you, when people are coming to slander you, when people are coming to do all of these things, you don't have to respond. You don't have to. Now, don't get me wrong. No one wants to be lied on. Nobody wants to be mocked. Nobody wants to endure any of these things. But if the Son of God endured these things and he did no wrong, I think you can take that little bit of discomfort for his esteem. You know what I'm talking about? These are all the things that when we talk about that you will endure pain and he's going to multiply your sorrows. We ain't even got to the conception part. Because the conception part, that's a whole nother part of the play of how he showed honor to the weaker vessel. Because we're looking at the Mashiach part, and when we look at Mashiach part, then you can see how you can be able to show honor unto your wife, who is the weaker vessel, when you see how he did it to his wife, when you pay attention to the behavior. You don't have to respond to these people. I know that can be easier said than done, but you don't have to respond. You don't have to always fight back. Fight back for what? What you trying to prove? Who you trying to prove it to? Who gives a damn? Now, maybe because my granddaddy taught me that at a very young age, that's why I had that thought process. I don't care. I just don't care. You know what I'm talking about? You can think or say whatever you want to say about me. I'm not even finna do a diligent inquisition if a nigga says something about me, because I don't really give a damn. You know what I'm talking about? Especially if they can't say it to me. Because if you can't say it to me, that means it ain't even real to me. You know what I'm talking about? Because if it was real, you would have said something to me. You ain't said nothing to me, man, that's just a figment of your imagination, man. That's a personal problem. You know what I'm saying? You need to get that sorted out. And that ain't got nothing to do with me. I only mention these things because if the Mashiach said that, Yahushua said, if the Son shall set you free, you shall be free indeed. And where the Ruach or Hamashiach is, there is freedom. Then we need to free ourselves from the entanglements of the cares and affairs of this life and the thoughts, machinations, and opinions of wicked niggas. Because why does the opinion of an ungodly person have anything to do with us and how we feel about ourselves? You know what I'm talking about? Like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. Be for real. You know what I'm talking about? That junk ain't serious, man. That don't get, like I said, don't get me wrong. Nobody wants to be lied on. Nobody wants to be mocked. Nobody wants to be disrespected. Nobody wants any of those things. But that just comes with the territory. And what I mean by coming to the territory, Luke chapter 1, about verse 30, somewhere 31 and 34, it said that the child that Mary would have would be called great. So if you dwell in him and he dwell in you, then you would be called great. And if you're going to do anything great, there are going to be people who are going to have something to say. It just comes with the territory. So let it be what it be. Let it is what it is. And just go about your business and keep moving towards that prize to salvation and the calling of Yahushua HaMashiach. And don't let nobody take your crown. And bump what a pussy nigga got to say. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man, straight like that. Bump what they got to say. They ain't talking about nothing. Proverbs 13:4. The soul of the sluggard desire and have nothing, but the soul of the diligent be made fat. A righteous man hate lying, but a wicked man is loathsome, and he come to shame. Now, I could spend some time on those two verses, but I'm trying to make sure that we stay on task. Loathsome here is ba'ash, and that's to have a bad smell, to stink, to emit a stinking odor, to make oneself odious. And how does that happen? You know, it told you that, those who in the Mashiach give off a sweet smelling savor. So, the wicked give off a stink. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what it is like when you smell something stink. Your whole face just like, God, no. Verse 6, though. Righteousness keep him that is upright in the way, but wickedness overthrow the sinner. There is that make himself rich, yet have nothing. And there is that make himself poor, yet have great riches. And the ransom of a man's life are his riches, but the pure hear not the rebuke. Now, we talk about that, how the ransom of a man's life is his riches. I keep seeing people post this stuff talking about even the Bible is against being poor. See, when the Lord told you, set your treasure in heaven and not on earth, a lot of people don't pay attention to that because their heart is set on earthly riches and they're going to perish with them. Like he said in Zephaniah, it's gold and silver, it's going to rust over and you're going to die with it. See, the riches that came from this man offering his life are durable riches, as it says in Proverbs, that can't be quantified. See, a lot of people want to be rich in wealth as far as earthly wealth is concerned, but they don't want to be rich in faith like James put it. And you know why people don't want to be rich in faith? Because it's not a currency that you can use to buy trinkets, cars, and other things that you can show forth what you have that is better than other people. See, everybody wants a luxury lifestyle, and they're going to be luxuriously burning in hell because they're going to have their time now. And that's fine if that's what they choose. Some people don't want to wait for the reward that come later because they don't have the discipline to endure to be able to receive that because that tangible wealth is not valuable to them. And that's fine. That's fine. I'm just stressing that it's fine for you. You can't make people want what they don't want. You can't make people desire what they don't desire. You know what I'm saying? We were just having a conversation earlier. Something that y'all already know, you're like, you wouldn't want somebody in life who just made you happy, man. Even Yahuwah himself want people who add value to what he got going on. There's very few people he say, sit here till I come. What benefit can you have to what I have going on? We've talked about that before. Most people don't want people who add value to their life, man. And that's not always monetarily. Value is just usefulness. You just want people sitting around you who make you smile, but they draining you on every cut and corner. You steady pouring in them and they ain't giving nothing back but a smile and a good time. Nigga, you immature as hell. That's the thought process of a boy, not a man. Because a man is going to want everybody around them to be useful because he seeks to be useful to them. He demands so much of himself, he going to demand stuff of the people around him. When you just got a nigga sitting around there skinny, that means you don't demand nothing of yourself. So you definitely not going to demand nothing from her or anybody else for that matter. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I just was raised different. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe I was exposed to certain people who had a different type of mindset. And maybe that's just why I think different. Because, man, I don't want nobody sitting around me and we just having a good time. Nigga, I'm 44 years old. I don't need nobody around me to have a good time. Nigga, I'm grown. You want somebody around you to have a good time when you were a teenager. Hell, maybe your early 20s. But we grown. Why are you here? What's happening with you yet to die? Like, why are you here? What benefit do you have? You just here? Sucking up resources? Doing nothing but skinning and grinning? Oh, hell no. You know what I'm talking about? That's not good enough. That's not good enough. That is not good enough. Absolutely not. And I say that because, a lot of people don't, but that's God's perspective too. What value you going to add to me? You got to add something. Now, it ain't got to be nothing of supreme greatness. Y'all know why I said this. Come over here to Romans 12. You got to add something. Remember, you got to show honor unto the weaker vessel. That's the usefulness to her husband. Well, see, look how you see. This is how you useful to your husband. Romans 12 and 6. 12 and 4. I'm sorry. Romans 12 and 4. It might make me work into what this wicked nigga said, man, so I can run that down, because that was just unfortunate. He says, this is Romans 12 and 4. For we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office. So we, being many, are one body in a Mashiach, and every one members one of another. Having then gifts differ according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy according to the proportion of faith, or ministry, let us wait on our ministry. Or he that teach on teaching, or he that exhort on exhortation, he that give, let him do it with simplicity, he that rule with diligence, he that show mercy with cheerfulness. Let love be without dissimulation, abhor that which is evil, and cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love, and one preferring one another, not slothful in business, because we just read that about being slothful. You are not supposed to be laboring in the Lord and being a lazy nigga. And that's what too many people's problem is in the word. You got all the energy in the world to do everything that is natural, but when it comes to the service of God, you a lazy, sorry sack of human excrement. You know what I'm talking about? And that junk is completely and totally unacceptable. Period, point blank. Because that means as a wife, you're not useful. You're not useful to your husband. So he can't extend that honor to the weaker vessel, which is the bestowing of the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh, because you don't have a desire to be beneficial to your husband in any shape, form, or fashion. You know what I'm talking about? Like, how that gonna work? Now, you see God himself don't want no lazy wife, but yet you saying that's cool though. That's cool though. She ain't got to do nothing. We ain't talking about making nobody no slave. We're talking about usefulness, man. Because if you come to anybody, if anybody come into your life and wants to benefit off of you, but they don't want to exhibit or requite any value in return, there's absolutely no way that you should allow this person in your life. There's absolutely no way. That's insane. See, when people hear that, they say that, because that's what Bruce said earlier, that sounds transactional. It's not transactional. Man, let me tell you something, man. Only God can continually pour into people and not be drained. Human beings can't do that. I'm telling you right now. Yahuwah himself can pour into people repeatedly and not be drained. No man or woman on earth can do that and not be drained, man. You're going to be left with nothing in the end, and you're going to be destroyed. It's not possible. You know what I'm saying? It's not possible. There's no way that you can continually do, and don't nobody requite nothing back to you. That is impossible. The only person who can sustain you in that situation is Yahuwah himself. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? You not that strong, man. You steady pouring out to people, and we talked about this before. This is why you see Christian pastors and you hear about these people committing suicide and all this type of stuff, and you could think, man, they're human beings, bro. You steady taking from somebody and you not putting nothing back. What you think gonna be left? That's not possible, bro. That's not possible. And that comes because we be oblivious. You know what I'm saying? We be oblivious. No, it's not a bad thing like people make it to be, but that's because I think it is giving. I think it's because of the aspect that a lot of men are told that they're supposed to just give, and never expect anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not how it's supposed to be. And then, of course, if a woman is a woman, she's a giver. She wants to give this, that, there, and the third. And as a man, if you know your old lady doing X, Y, Z, you're supposed to hit all. You're supposed to do X, Y, Z. You say you experienced the opposite? Yeah, shoot. Yeah, that ain't nothing. That's a good thing. Because that junk ain't cool, man. I'm just not like this here, man. You know, if you got it, it's one thing if you're down bad. But if you know you got it, man, your old lady doing X, Y, Z, you should requite that. You should requite it. You should requite it. You know what I'm saying? You just can't be, nah, man. Nah, man, that's what's wrong with people, man. They just feel like, nah, man. She shouldn't, you know. And that's even worse for one because y'all shouldn't be pouring into people and expecting nothing in return. But I know a lot of people do that because they feel like, well, you know, they women, they want to help. You know, they're givers. Man, you can't do people like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody do that, he just trying to take advantage of you. That nigga the lowest form of man, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? No man who has any genuine care and concern for a woman he dealing with her on a close, intimate level is just going to constantly take from her and not put nothing back. That nigga's a hell of a dude. Yeah, that's terrible. That's just absolutely terrible. He said, verse 11, not slothful in business, fervent in ruach, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer, distributing to the necessity of the saints, giving to hospitality. And that gets me to what we were talking to a nigga about today. That nigga pissed me off. Notice how he say giving to the what? Distributing to the necessity of the saints. I want you to come over here to Matthew 25. Now, some of you may remember, but I'm going to see who remembers what proverb that Matthew 25 is referencing specifically. Matthew chapter 25, verse 31. Yeah, and the key point too is when you look at Yahuwah give and receive. Because Yahuwah even give and receive. You give service, he gives the Ruach HaKodesh. He gives a multitude of things. You know what I'm saying? He's just not the type of person that, okay, you've been benefiting me, I'm not going to give you nothing. Because matter of fact, he put it in his covenant what he going to give you. So you can know, well, you do X, Y, Z, well, I got you. It's nothing. This is nothing. This is a way that you give honor unto the weaker vessel because you're weaker, you're impotent. See, I think I mentioned this the other day. When you look at Adam being the son of God and the woman coming out of Adam, now Adam was made of the dust of the ground, but the woman came from the flesh. You know what I'm saying? His actual flesh. He's going to be weaker than being made with the hand of God. So then when you look at, okay, Mashiach is actually raised from the dead by the Spirit of God. He's not flesh and blood. He's flesh and bone. He's not kept alive by the life that's in the blood. He kept alive by the life that's in the spirit. You know what I'm talking about? Therefore, he's going to give honor unto the weaker vessel who is flesh and blood, who is subject to the frailties and the foibles of the flesh. So therefore, because of that sickness, meaning death, and that pain and toil that we talked about in Genesis 3 and 15 with the definition of Issabone with sorrow, I'm going to extend honor unto her. Because I understand the weakness that she possesses. This is when we were talking about what's in Psalm, about he knoweth our frame, but we are but dust, and you know your woman's frame, because she's going to tend to be more emotional than you. Because see, regardless if people want to agree with it, if a man is just as emotional as a woman, that woman going to look at him as he's a buster. She's not going to respect it. And no matter what anybody says in any type of interaction between a man and a woman, brother, there has to be a dominant and a submissive. There has to be a masculine and a feminine. And if the man is submissive and docile, then that woman will be dominant and masculine, because somebody has to be that in the interaction. The only type of interaction you may not see that in is two lipstick dykes. That's about it. Everything else is a dominant and submissive in the interaction. That's how it goes. It's not even something that people intentionally seek to do. It's just the nature of man. Somebody gonna be the dominant one, and somebody gonna yield. It's gonna happen because two dominant people gonna clash, and they gonna force submission from the other person, or they gonna separate. This is what happens. Two dominant people cannot exist in the same space. Is fourth is talking about ruling something. Stop, Joanne. Stop. Cut it out. Hey, don't bite her. And you did all that, you should have just called for your mom. Yeah, man. I mean, it's a harsh reality, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I only deal with things as they are. These are not necessarily my personal opinions. But I can tell you what I've observed, and I've seen it happen over and over again, and it's been highly consistent. You know what I'm talking about? I know I always see people say, you know, I seen a lady say this the other day, women love to submit. You just have to be that dude. That's a bunch of hogwash. That woman either gonna submit to you or she's not. It's not about if she that dude, if you that dude, because if she was a wise woman and she see you weren't a man worth submitting to, she would not even continue the engagement for an extended period of time to even put her in a position where she would have to act opposite of her character. She would just leave you alone. This is how you know that people just be talking. Because if you're a submissive person and you can observe that this person does not have the requisite leadership qualities, the requisite character and behavior, you're not going to engage with this person for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and then put yourself in an untoward fashion to behave outside of who you are. You're gonna be like, oh no, I'm good. Oh, I'm good, baby. You know, you're a nice person and all, but it's not gonna work for me. You know what I'm saying? People go, how you gonna make this nigga be dominant? He either dominant or he ain't. You can't make him be that. What it is justification for people who don't want to do something. So they have to come up with some neat way to espouse what it is that they don't want to do. See, I'm not here to say anything about a woman who don't want to submit to somebody. I don't give a damn. And I don't know why you dudes care. Why you care if a woman say she don't want to submit to a man? You ain't with her. So why do you care? Why you care? Who cares? If you ain't with her, you ain't trying to be with her, why do you care? Because if there was 15 women who told me, I'll never submit to a man, okay, that's your business. What that got to do with me? I'm not finna try to attempt to make you become that. That's what's wrong with you niggas. Y'all want to make people be who they plainly telling you they don't want to be. I don't even understand how that works. And I ain't talking about just with that. I'm just talking about period. If this person telling you they don't want to do that, why would you try to still be with this woman? If this man tell you, no, I'm not a great leader, I can't think too well. You know what I'm saying? I like to get drunk and I tell lies. Why would you be like, you know what? This seems like a good man to continue to be with. Unless you're trying to be with people who are low-hanging fruit to justify the victimhood in the stories you tell or why your relationships don't work out. Hey, don't you hear? Why are you being rude? Oh, you're enamored by this logo, aren't you?
No, I saw a yellow, red, blue. It's baby.
Yes, it is yellow, red, and blue.
It's yellow, pink, and blue, and yellow, and red.
Yes it is.
They had pink.
Oh, the baby had pink?
Yeah, it had pink.
How about you pink and sit down?
Daddy, pink.
No, I don't have on any pink.
Oh, I have it.
Why are you telling me this?
I have it.
Oh.
I have it.
Thank you for sharing.
I have it.
Joanne. Matthew 25 and 31. The Warriors acquired Jimmy Butler. When the son of Adam shall come in his esteem, and all the Kadash Malachim with him, then he shall sit upon the throne of his esteem. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the Malach say unto them on the right hand, come you Baruch of my Abba, and inherit the Malchut prepared from you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungered, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer, saying unto him, Lord, when saw we you hungered and fed you, or thirsty and gave you drink? And when we saw you a stranger and took you in, or naked and clothed you? or when we saw you sick or in prison and came unto you? The malice shall answer and say unto them, truly I say unto you, inasmuch as you have done it unto one of these, the least of my brethren, you have done it unto me. Can anyone tell me what proverb that comes from? He said, if you've done it to the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. This is literally a proverb specifically that says the very same thing. It don't say it like that word for word, but it says the very same thing. And Stanley has mentioned Proverbs 19 and 17, and that is correct. There is another proverb that can be used in the justification of this statement. Proverbs 19 and 17 says, he that hath pity on the poor lend unto Yahuwah, and that which he have given him will he pay him again. And because you paid him with your natural, he paid you with everlasting life, as you read in Matthew 25. Now, I didn't read about those who didn't do it and how they go into hell. I left that part out. There's one more song. I mean, not song. I'm sorry. There's one more proverb that says this also. Does anybody know which one that is? You say Proverbs 14:21. Well, this one here, let me see. This one here actually is the back end. These two is actually the back end of that proverb. I'm sorry. You got 21. Mm-hmm. That was a little different because it said, he that have mercy on the poor, blessed is he. Now, when you look at Proverbs 17 and 5 and 14 and 31, he said, he that oppressed the poor reproach his maker, but he that honoreth him have mercy on the poor. And both of those match up with Matthew 25. And of course, Proverbs 17 and 5 says, whoso mock the poor reproach his maker. Which is what you seen when he said, hey, when I was sick, you didn't holler at me. Matter of fact, let me read the back end, because this is what this nigga told us. This nigga told us his cousin went to jail for 15 years behind something he did, and he ain't visited the man, he ain't coming to see the man, he ain't sending the man the money, but that wasn't the issue. The issue was, this is Matthew 25 and 40. The issue with this, he said, it's not my job. He said, it's your job to carry your own burdens. This man say you ain't supposed to give no money to the poor. He said, did Jesus give money to the poor? I say, damn. Well, this nigga don't care about nobody. You know what I'm saying? We literally just read in Romans, he said, distribute to the necessity of the saints. Another place he said, do good, especially to those who are the household of the faith. He definitely said, carry one another's burdens and fulfill the law of a Mashiach. What you think him carrying that stake was about? He carrying your burdens. You can't carry your brothers. He said, those that are strong ought to support the weak and not to please themselves. What does we got going on? What does we got going on? And that junk made my blood boil, because these niggas will get on these internet spaces and throw Bible verses all day, every day, and tell everybody how wicked they is, because they understanding this, that, that, and the third. But when the time comes that you actually have to embody the Ruach of the living Elohim in real life, these whole niggas don't want to do it. And I tell you they not going to do it. Niggas say, man, if a nigga hungry, he ain't going to feed him. He said, I'm going to just pray for you. Let me tell you, I think I told most of y'all this before. I've seen this happen in real life. We went to these people, man, serving, man. It was me, Nell, Leanna. I can't remember. I think it might have been just us three. All three of us broke the 10 commandments. You understand what I'm telling you? Man, we come up out of there. Dude walk up, man. Dude had his medical wristband on. He said, man, I just got out of the hospital, man. The diabetes, woo, woo, woo. Man, I'm hungry. I need this for such and such. Man ain't asked for nobody money straight up and down. He said, man, you ain't got to give me no money, man. You could go in there and buy me something. I just need something to eat. Man, them Christian people looked that man in the face and prayed for him and sent him on his way and sent him away home. Nigga, I think between the three of us, me, Nell, and Lynn, ain't had $10. You know what I'm talking about? We gave the man what we could. You know, it say that in James. He said, man, what good is your faith if your brother come to you and say he hungry, he destitute of daily food or naked, and you say be warmed and filled and send him away? You know what I'm saying? This is like 2012, man. You know what I'm saying? When this happened. I watched that live in effect, man. That's the exact verse came to my head when I seen the people do that. And man, most of these people on here ain't no different. Who claim that they ain't no different. Man, when it come time to, shalom, brother, my man, when it come time to actually live the word, man, this man literally said, man, I'm not finna give you nothing. I'm gonna pray for you. This man put whole devotionals in the chat, man, when he be in people's rooms, man. Argue you down by a word, man, but when it came time to be godly, man, this whole nigga said, man, I ain't giving you nothing. We say no. Say my mom had that scenario before. She didn't have the money, she had the food and was offering that. Person said, I don't want that. They weren't hungry then. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Hungry man, he ain't turning down the food if he ain't got no bread. He ain't turning down no food. That nigga wanted to get drugs. That's what he wanted to do. Come over here to 1 John chapter 3, verse 16. Yeah, he wanted drugs. Because nigga hungry for real. That's how I knew the dude was serious when dude, he led with that. You ain't got to give me no money. Man, I'm just hungry. I need such and such for my sugar. You ain't got to give me no money. Man, the people prayed for that man and sent that man on his way. I said, boy, that's terrible. Man, these people wicked as hell. That just made my blood boil. Hear the grown man say, oh, nah, bro, I'm going to just pray for you. I say, man, if that man hungry, you ain't going to feed him, bro? You ain't going to give him nothing to eat? Well, what type of nigga ain't going to give nigga nothing to eat who hungry, man? I said, well, you a crab, boy, and you a buster. Ain't no way around that. Well, I don't have no respect for this man at all anymore. I ain't going to say I ain't had no respect for him because I ain't know him like that. But once he said that, I do not respect this man at all. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie to you, Mama. I might kick that nigga out the room just on general principle. I don't even move like that. I don't respect that. I don't respect nobody keep the name of the Lord in their mouth and then say, boy, if somebody's hungry, he ain't gonna feed him. He just gonna pray for him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't fool with him. That's wicked as hell. You know what I'm saying? Well, you an evil nigga. That man said, if you have pity on the poor, you lend to Yahuwah. Man, that man said, if you do this to the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me. How in the world can you say that Mashiach dwell in you and you and him, and you see your brother, you see your sister, and they hungry, and your bowels of compassion ain't moving? Man, the Lord just said, man, I can't let these people keep walking with me, man. They gonna fade away. I gotta give them something to eat. And this sucker nigga say, did Jesus ever give people money? Nigga, what? Lord have mercy. He said, I came across a brother who was down bad. He said, I had this plastic card. He respect. I ain't had no cash. Yeah, man. I look at, man. You know, it's 2025. No, nobody carry no cash like that. You know what I'm saying? So a nigga asking for a couple dollars. I ain't got no couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? If you hungry, you hungry. A nigga get you something to eat. Oh, Proverbs 17:5 and Proverbs 14:31, Yedidiah is dealing with the back end of this. You were asleep when that happened because Manny was mocking him hard. Manny kept calling him a goat. Manny was mocking him hard, and he actually left. That's the first time I ever seen Gino just leave, because he was getting chastised at a high level for that. Like we like nah, bro, you sour for that. Like this ain't even about no word at this point. As a man, bro, you are contemptible. You are a terrible individual. Because, boy, as abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. This is what you said. This is what you mean. That means you ain't got no mercy in you, cuz. Ain't no grace or no goodness in you, man. Ain't no loving kindness in you, man. To say that you could see a man be hungry and you say you not going to feed him, you going to pray for him? Lord have mercy. It don't cost a lot of money to feed nobody. What I mean by that is you may not be able to give them what they want, but you can give them something to give them the strength to get through a few hours or another day. You ain't even gonna do that. And that's what I mean by, man, with people, man, this is not what people want to do. This stuff is bigger than just your ability to recite precepts and put together lessons and all this other stuff that nigga be talking. Man, do you really embody that though? Are you really merciful and gracious? Are you really kind? Are you really slow to anger? Are you actually merciful? Are you forgiving? Yes, ma'am, another one. You know what I'm saying? Do you delight in righteousness and judgment and mercy and faith? It's like, is this who you is? Do you have self-control? Are you humble? Like, do you embody that? Any one of us can go through precepts every week. What that mean? What does it mean if it ain't took hold of how you actually interact and treat other people? Even people who can't benefit you. Even people who ain't in the word. He didn't just say be good to those who in the word. He said if you just praise your brethren, what good is that? He say sinners do the same. Can you be good to everybody? Can you be godly to everybody? Don't nobody want to do that. He said, I want to ask people, do you believe in God is alive right now? No, these people don't believe none of that, bro. They don't believe none of that, bro. They don't believe none of that, bro. And that's just aggravating, man. Because what really pissed me off was, I'm like, man, if I fool with somebody, then I fool with you, man. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean I got to talk to you every day. You know what I'm saying? That ain't mean I got to be in your face every day. But if you going through something and you call me, I'm gonna pick up the phone. I ain't gonna look at your number and not answer. You know what I'm talking about? If you need something and I ain't got it, we'll try to put something together so you can get what you need. It don't cost nothing just to see about somebody, man. Like, how does people say they in the word, they fellowship with all these people, and then you don't fool with people for real? Hey, that's real, Brother Herman, man. Herman say it because he lives in me, and if you seen me, you seen the Father. That's my aspiration. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Empty stomachs won't be thinking high thoughts. I don't know who raised these folk, Mama Steph. And clearly nobody did. You know what I'm talking about? And when I say that, not only nobody in the natural, but clearly the word ain't raise them and take hold to them either. You know what I'm saying? And I've been told you this here, man, like this here, right? And this real nigga conversation, man. I ain't even just saying to just be saying this here, right? Everybody who come here in the flesh, they already know this here. But like if you on this stream on a regular basis, man, then nigga fool you. It doesn't matter if we're not physically round, you keep coming through. Same with people who on this club, you keep coming through. That means, okay, you coming through, you fool with a nigga, so I fool with you. Because that's how the Lord operates. He say, if you love me, I love you. If you fool with me, then I'm fooling with you. Until you show yourself to be of a dishonorable character. Once you show yourself to be of a dishonorable character, I'm not fooling with you no more. Guess who do the same? You will do the same. Once you show yourself to be of a dishonorable character, he's not fooling with you no more. So how can all these people who say, I'm in Christ and Christ in me, or I'm in the Mashiach and Mashiach in me, the Messiah is in me, and I'm in the Messiah, and then you see other people and you don't see him in them? You know what I'm talking about? That's why I've been told you that, man, I don't care who people fellowship with. That don't mean nothing to me. You ain't got to be in the same assembly I'm in for. What type of time is that? But it come down to people don't fool with each other for real. You know what I'm saying? Like you round these people, but you don't love these people. How you round people all the time? You don't care for them for real. But you say you godly. How that work? I'm not asking that in a rhetorical fashion. I'm trying to figure out genuinely, how does that work? I don't know. I don't think like how that work. How can you look at somebody on a regular basis and be like, hey, brother, but you know you don't fool with them? Because I feel like Styles P on Black Album, on DMX album. If I don't like a nigga, I don't even be bothered. Because if I don't fool with you, I'm not fooling with you. I'm not finna be in your face acting like I fool with you. I'm not finna kiki with you. I'm not finna do none of that with you. I'm not finna do none of that with you. I don't mean I'm gonna be disrespectful. I'm a professional. You know what I'm talking about? I know how to be professional. I know how to be amicable. You know what I'm talking about? I know how to be courteous, even if I don't fool with you. And even if I don't fool with you, if you was hungry, I still feed you. And if you was naked, I still clothe you. I ain't got no problem with that. When I say I don't fool with you, that means I'm not finna be slapping fives like we friends, and I know we not. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not doing that. You might do that. That's your business. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And guess who else don't do that? Your God don't do that. What did this man say for everybody to know that we his disciples? That you love one another. And that's the one thing that people in the word clearly can't seem to do. So now the question come in, why don't we love each other? A nigga could know that you in a bad place, nigga won't even come see about you. And you know the crazy part is, nigga be mad because other people come see about you because they didn't. Well, nigga, you should have came and seen about it then. Why you mad because these people came and seen about it? You know why they be mad? Because it show them up that they don't really fool with people like they say they do. That's why they be mad. You know what I'm saying? Now you can take that information and you can do what you want to with it. You know what I'm saying? Nah, for real, no. That's what that's gonna be though. I seen that my entire life. You know what I'm saying? I seen that my entire life. Not necessarily directly, but I've observed it. Meaning that I went through that personally. But I don't observe that, man. People get mad when people come say your whole experience. Yeah, man, niggas crazy. Nigga claim fool with you. Know you going. I ain't talking about niggas not aware you going through something. They know you going through something. Don't come see about you. Some other people come see about you. They mad. Because these people came and seen about you because it exposed that clearly you ain't give a damn about them. Why you mad with them people? They don't even know you. They ain't did nothing to you. They don't even know you. They don't even know you. But you mad with them. Because it just exposed that you don't really fool with this person like that. I've told you this 1,000 times. I'll tell it to you 1,000 more. It don't cost nothing. It don't take no effort to love nobody, man. It take effort to hold love back. You know what I'm saying? The love of God flow freely. When the love don't flow freely, it's because this person cuffing that. And that means they making a conscious effort to not show no love. That's evidence of their ungodly character. Back to 1 John 3 and 16. I'll make it 14. He said, we know that we have passed from death unto life because we love the brethren. And you should know you passed from death unto life and you love your wife. Again, I say it again. How y'all married to people that you don't love, that you don't care about, that you don't want, that you don't like? Why is this happening? Stop doing it. Don't marry a man you won't submit to. If you weren't going to submit to him before you married him, what you think marriage was going to do? He was magically going to become another man? No, he's not. He's going to be the same dude. Now you mad with him. No, be mad with yourself. Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you. We know that we have passed from death unto life because we love the brethren. He that love not his brother abide in death. Whosoever hate his brother is a murderer. And you know that no murderer have eternal life abiding in him. Hereby perceive we the love of Elohim, because he laid down his life for us. We ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. But whoso have this world's good and see his brother have need and shut up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwell the love of Elohim in him? That man literally told us if a nigga was hungry, he ain't getting nothing. But he said, how the love of God in you, if you see this man have need and you close up your man, one thing Yahuwah has never done is shut up his bowels of compassion on those who are in need and cried out to him. You can't find that nowhere. You can't find that nowhere. And this is a part of dwelling with your wife according to knowledge. You're gonna close up your bowels of compassion on the wife of your bosom. That's what you're gonna do. You're a wicked bastard, boy. If you want to know how to dwell with your wife according to knowledge, all you got to do is look at how Yahuwah dwelt with us. If you want to know what it's like to show honor to the weaker vessel, look at how Yahushua showed it to his wife. It's not hard. People make stuff hard because you want it to be how you want it to be or how you think it should be. Nobody asked you what you wanted. Nobody asked you what you thought. Follow the framework or just leave it alone. It's that simple. But back to Matthew 25. These niggas be pissing me off. That nigga, I ain't gonna lie to you. When the nigga was talking, I was like, this nigga wilding. Cause Manny asked him, he said, when the last time you visited somebody in jail? Because they were reading this Matthew 25. I forgot how I got to it. He said, the last time I was there. He said, I ain't going to see no nigga in jail. Nigga say, damn, boy, if a nigga hungry, you ain't going to feed him. He said, did Jesus give out money? I'll pray for you. He said, it's your job to carry your own burdens. But look at what the apostle wrote. Right? Look at what the apostle wrote. Come to Galatians, I'm sorry. Come to Galatians chapter 6 and verse 1. Look what the apostle said. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in the fault, and you which are spiritual, restore such a one in ruach of meekness, consider yourself, lest you also be tempted. That's one thing you have to understand, man. If you see a brother, he caught up in a fault, and you trying to restore this man, don't come at this man belittling this man, mocking this man, all this extra stuff that people like to do, because then you'll find yourself being tried. I hope you don't get exposed. Let me tell you what restore means real quick in this verse, man. Well, first I tell you what a fault is. That is parat toma, a sin, a misdeed, a large deviation from truth and uprightness. It is a side slip, a lapse or deviation, unintentional error, willful transgression, fault, offense, sin, trespass. Either way it goes. If somebody is caught up in a sin, say he's overtaken in a sin, in a willful sin, in an unintentional sin, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a lapse in judgment. Whatever the case may be, he said, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness. Restore here is catarizo. That is to strengthen, to perfect, to make complete, to make one what he ought to be. When you pay attention to how the Lord, when he caught you in your faults, he came to you the spirit of meekness. Why you not doing that to other people? You want to talk down, you want to do this, that, there, and the third. He said, well, you better be careful, baby, lest you be also tempted. Because that's how a lot of people get caught up. What does that mean? Is people going to sin? Yes. Yes, they are. You know what I'm talking about? Is people going to willfully sin? Is people going to transgress? Yes, they is. Now, are you concerned with making them what they ought to be? Or are you concerned with just being saying, ha, ha, wicked nigga. Yeah, you did this, that, there, and the third. 9 times out of 10, when you get tried and tested in your flesh, you're going to sin too. And then you're going to want somebody to have mercy and not let me necessarily say mercy, because there ain't no mercy we can show to you. You're going to want somebody to be humble with you, to restore you and make you back perfect, and you're not going to get it. And you're not going to get it. Because in your pride and arrogance, you use that opportunity to destroy this man instead of restoring this man. Because guess what? People going to sin, man. People going to get in the word, they're going to sin, man. It is what it is. It's going to happen. There's a way that you can do things where individuals have to take the shame of their behavior. Because I seen a brother today that some woman posted something talking about she sinned, she laid down in the man's bed, he knocked her down, whatever the case may be. And he was like, that's 95% of these women in this word. See, that's a bad, his spirit ain't in the right place. His spirit ain't in the right place. Because he's dealing with something else. You know what I'm saying? He was like, most of you brothers rebounds in the word. Let me tell you something. Why would you niggas be marrying a woman you know them been with 3-4 niggas in other camps, other congregations? Why would you even take a woman like that seriously in the first place? The same way that as a woman, if you met this man and he told you, yeah, I've been married, I've had 5, 6 wives, man, none of them worked out. Baby, why are you taking that man seriously? There has to come a point in time where you just can't be desperate for a warm body and some loin bumping. You can't be, because that shows that's all you care about is trying to bump some loins. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if I was a woman and a man told me he had 5 runaway wives and this, that, and the third, man, I wouldn't be fooling with that man. Clearly, this man got some type of defect that all your wives run away from you, all of them, and you not the problem, all them the problem. Man, we ain't got to be in the word to know clearly this nigga is the problem. He's the common denominator. You mean to tell me you're gonna meet a woman and you done crane cross some brothers on the internet and they done told you, yeah, she was in our camp, she was married to brother such and such. She was in our congregation, she was married to brother such and such. She was in our congregation, she was married to brother such and such. And you gonna be the dummy to say, you know what? Sounds like the woman for me. You serious, my nigga? You don't love yourself? You don't respect yourself? That's on both ends of that spectrum. You gotta love and respect yourself more than that, baby. So that means it ain't about no love and respect. You niggas horny. And then you trying to do something in a way to make yourself feel better about having sex with this person because that's all you really want to do. And you just calling it being married. And then when y'all get tired of having sex with each other, then y'all separate and then you go find somebody else. That's what niggas doing. And he like, because as a man, why you fooling with a woman who told you she just got out of a relationship? You supposed to not even deal with that woman. Because you're supposed to have enough wisdom to know if she's just messing with this dude 30 days ago, 60 days ago, she's probably still emotionally tied to this man. Let me know. You're not finna use me for the bounce back. You're not finna snatch me off the board and get the break running. No, I'm not doing that. Because she really don't like you like that. But that's what these boys be doing, and they be out here crying. Matthew 25 and 40. 39, 41, I should say. Then he shall say unto them on the left hand, depart from me, you cursed, in the everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungered, and you gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you took me not in. Naked, and you clothed me not. Sick and in prison, and you visited me not. Then they shall also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we you hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not serve unto you? Then he shall answer them and say, truly I say unto you, inasmuch as you did it not to one of the least of these, you did it not to me. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous unto life eternal. And that's where that Proverbs 17 and 5 and Proverbs 14 and 31 come in. You dishonor your maker when you do that. So when that man uttered them words, he dishonored God. He didn't realize he did. I think he did realize he did that. That's why he left. Because that's why I told us, and you can take the word out of it. You're a despicable human being. Because if you say you was in the drug game and the police kicked in the house and there was your drugs in that house and your cousin took that charge and took 15 years and you know this an innocent man and you ain't went and seen that man, you ain't went and dropped $1 on that man, I know you ain't coming through for the saints. You a selfish nigga. You know what I'm saying? And then he magnified that. Let me tell you something, man. Don't nobody want to be broke, but man, money ain't that serious, bro. Material stuff ain't that serious, bro. Because as sure as you got it, the Lord will take it away from you, and then you'll need somebody to do the same for you that you wouldn't do for another. And you're going to be out here looking stupid in the face. That's how raw Yahuwah is with it. Or he'll let you become so fat with what it is that you value so much to the point that you'll do just like what it said in Proverbs 30. You'll forget Yahuwah so you can die and go to hell. Come on back to Proverbs 13. 13 and 9. That junk really pissed me off, man. And it ain't pissed me off to the level like, oh, I'm just angry. It's like, yeah, you evil, bro. You an evil person. And you talk about Bible all day long. So you ain't hear them. They told me, well, when you talk, you sound like you're stressed. I'm like, bro, I'm not stressed, bro. I just mean what I say and I say what I mean. You know what I'm saying? I don't play them type of games y'all be on here playing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be playing games, boy. I mean what I say. You know what I'm talking about? You know why I know it's the same. It's the same way to what that was we were talking about. When we were talking, they was like, yeah, when the women be flattering them to get them to do something. And I was like, nigga, that don't move me. They like, oh, you must ain't never been flattered by a woman. Nah, bro, y'all niggas some tender dicks. That's what y'all is. Y'all is some old weak for any woman who show you any type of flattering attention type of person. That you don't even understand somebody who moves different to a different principle. Because this is not about belittling or lessening women. Women are beautiful, they're great. If you've ever been around, and I'm not even talking about on the sexual tip, I'm talking about if you've ever had a great woman in your life. It is phenomenal. It doesn't matter if she's a friend. It doesn't matter if she's a sibling. It doesn't matter if it's your mama, your auntie, your grandma, whoever it is, your wife. They're absolutely wonderful. But when you have wonderful women in your life, they don't have a problem with they have a desire to, baby, what it is that I can make your life better. What it is, whatever it could be. It could be just as simple as how Mother Sharona sends worship music. It can be as simple as how Mama Steph sends sources and books for me to read. Just as simple as that. That's adding value. See, some people wouldn't look at that as that's adding value. Just something simple as that. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm talking about somebody that's outside of my wife or the sisters who I see on a regular basis. Just something simple as that. That's value. You know why? Because Mother Sharona may not know if I'm having a good day, a bad day, or whatever the case may be. But she say, you know what? Boom, I'm going to send him this song. Because this song brought me some joy. Maybe it can do the same for him. That's adding value to somebody's life. That's wonderful. If you're a man, you appreciate that because this person thought about you enough to say, maybe this will make his day better. You know what I'm talking about? Mama Steph say, hey, I know he's looking at this. He's talking about this. He's teaching about this. This is something that can make his job more effective. That is what great women do. These niggas like, well, what if she make you happy and bring you peace and take your stress away? Can't no woman take your stress away, bro. Why is you looking? You're looking for your mama. She's not your mama, bro. She's not your mama, bro. You looking at it from the wrong way. That's why these niggas be complaining. That's why they be complaining. And then when they run across women who care about them, they don't know what to do with it. Look here. My wife makes so much cabbage and zucchini that there is no way that my blood pressure will probably ever be high again. You know what I'm talking about? Now, y'all know I mess with her about that cabbage. She make it, though. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? But it's this certain thing, man. She kept out, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. So then, of course, you're going to want to make sure, hey, is you good? Whatever it is that you could do. These dudes don't understand that because they'll let people be in their life who do nothing. And I'm not talking about that they do nothing, that it don't even run across their mind to do anything of benefit for you. And they cool with that. And they think you weird because you like, no, I'm not accepting that. You know what I'm saying? Then they were like, well, what about dating? I say, man, how y'all get into it? They got upset when I told them that. Y'all niggas grown and you thinking you finna get to know if this woman's an acceptable wife from leisure activity, bro. Y'all are grown. We're grown. I'm not a child. I don't think like that. We're grown. You know what I'm saying? You could go out and have fun with anybody. People go out and have fun with people who smoke crack. You have people who think it's fun to go out with other people and get absolutely stone cold wasted through the consumption of alcohol. And they think that these people are good company. Lord have mercy. God help. Proverbs 13:9. The light of the righteous rejoice, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. Only by pride come contention, but the well-advised is wisdom. All that strife and all that fighting, that's pride that make you do that. That word there is the dome, Zayin, Dalit, U, and Noon. That's pride, that's insolence, that's arrogance. When you always is fussing and fighting and contending, that's your pride. That's what the book say. That's not my personal opinion. Well-advised is wisdom. Well-advised here is your odds. That means you've been given counsel. You've been given purpose. You've been given, devised a plan. Therefore, you can move skillfully. And we'll deal with that, y'all willing, on the Sabbath. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished. But he that gather by labor shall increase. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick. But when the desire come, it is a tree of life. Whoso despise the word shall be destroyed. But he that fear the commandment shall be rewarded. The law of the wise is a fountain of life to depart from the snares of death. A good understanding give favor. Remember, if you're without understanding, you're worthy of death. And then he said he gave them understanding that they might understand the scriptures. And favor is Ka and Nun. You separated unto life. That is acceptance. And that's one of the things that Yahuwah said. He was merciful and gracious. You want the favor of God, you need to get a good understanding. He will accept you. Most people don't want to have a good understanding of who he is and what he requires, because what he requires is not even difficult. Understanding, for those who want to hear this, a call, that's prudence, that's insight, that's understanding, good sense, insight, wisdom, wise, policy, discretion, knowledge, success. See, when you have a good understanding of who he is in his word, you will have success. What is success? It's the gift of life which comes from the Ruach HaKodesh, and you will produce the fruits of the Ruach, and to be manifested in your life: joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, meekness, faith, love, and joy, self-control. Against such there is no law. If you consistently, and remember, he said those that but trust in Yahuwah is the tree of life, and they always produce fruit. The tree of life don't stop producing fruit because it's eternal. So if the Ruach of God is in you, you'll always have love. You'll always have joy. You'll always have peace. You'll always have faith. This is how you show honor to the weaker vessel, because you sick and you was impotent and you had mollifying wounds that had no ointment. So because your whole head was sick, he said, let me show honor unto you in your weakened state. When we were yet sinners without strength, Hamashiach died for the ungodly. You see how that works? It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. But let me take that back. It is hard and difficult when you have no desire to be godly. And when we talk about godly, we're talking about being faithful. It's not hard to be faithful. It's really not. What do I mean by that? Meaning whatever it is that you're doing. I'm not talking about just being faithful to your spouse. I'm talking about being faithful to whatever it is that you say that you do, or you want to do, or who you are. It's not hard to do when that's what you want to do, because you'll put all your effort into it. The book tell you, he say, every man boast of himself, but a faithful man who can find. Excuse me. What we came here for is the second part of this, but the way of the transgressors is hard. Now, transgressors is God that is used here. This is someone who acts treacherously, deceitfully, deals treacherously, faithlessly, deceitfully, offend. So in this instance, the way of the unfaithful is hard. And when you look at hard here, it is athon. And it is perpetual, it is constant, it is perennial, it is an ever-flowing stream. Also permanent and enduring. Permanence, concrete, hard, mighty, tough. Now we came here because let's go to Romans 5. I just referenced it. Romans 5 and 8. Because this is coming from the pain and the toil that he said the woman would have. He would multiply your sorrows. It is. Man, let me tell you something, man. And I know that everybody comes from different situations and circumstances. Everybody hasn't had the same upbringing. Everybody hasn't had the same experiences. Some have had worse experiences than others. Some have just had a regular everyday life with the normal bumps that come from being alive. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that you have to actually understand human behavior. You have to understand people, or we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. This is a people's business. If you don't know how to talk to people, if you don't know how to relate to people, if you don't have a care for people, you will do very, very poorly and winning souls. He said, he that wins souls is wise. So that means it's a level of skill that an individual must possess. Before I read Romans 5, come over here to 1 Corinthians 9 on why I'm saying what I'm saying. 1 Corinthians 9, verse 19. For though I be free from all men, yet I've made myself a servant unto all, that I might gain the more. So, of course, Paul is referencing, how are you free? Remember, he said, hey, man, we are free among the dead without obligation or tax. If the Son shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. That's Psalms 88 and 5 for those who don't know about free among the dead. That's what that's at. So he said, though I be free from all men, meaning I'm not in bondage to any man. I'm only in bondage to God. He said, I've made myself a servant unto all. Remember, the Lord said that I did not come to be served. I came unto serve and to make my life a ransom for many. The biggest mistakes that individuals make, we talked about this in the past, we probably have to rehash it, that kings are servants. And he that ruleth amongst men must be just. So even though that you're not a helpmeet to your wife, as a ruler, you're a servant to everyone in your kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So when you dwell with your wife according to knowledge, you would dwell with the understanding that it's my duty to be a servant to everyone in my kingdom. That does not mean that you bow down at every whim and desire that people make of you. That means that you know that you have, shalom, Sister Kelly, you have a job to do into the ministering to those who are under your charge. And because you do that because you have a vision and a plan, because he said, well, there's no vision, the people perish. So Hamashiach has came with the vision which was given unto him to his father so that the people might live. And because he's came with the vision and the structure and everything that pertains to that vision, now I can dwell with my wife according to knowledge, and now she can actually be that vessel or a useful helpmeet unto her husband, whatever that might be. One of the biggest mistakes that everybody be is you want people to be what you think they should be. Everybody not the same. You know, everybody on the internet say everybody should be an entrepreneur. Everybody's not an entrepreneur. Everybody's not. That's not everybody's job. Everybody doesn't have the mindset to pull that off. I just watched a video that was dealing with the rise and fall of Echo Unlimited. And it said that Echo went through a lot of period where they lost a lot of money because Mark Echo wasn't a businessman. Nor were the people with him businessmen. They were creatives. And they were they lost $6 million a year for the first 6 years they were in business, or $6 million in the first 6 years they were in business, even though they were selling a lot of clothes because they weren't business people. They were creatives. One of the biggest mistakes is you think because he's a man, he should be X, Y, Z. That might not be who he is. He might be completely comfortable on his job is to go do X and Y from this time to that time, and that's it. And you have to be okay with that because that's who he is. What a lot of people try to do is you try to make people who you think they should be. That's not who they are. You can't go get a woman who don't want to do X. We talked about it before, right? If this woman don't want to be a housewife, and she wants to be a career woman, why would you want to make her a housewife? She's going to resent you. If she wants to be a career woman at XYZ, if that fit with what you got going on, then let her be that. Or go find a woman who wants to be a housewife. You know what I'm saying? Don't find a woman who want to be a housewife and make her go be a career woman. She gonna hate you, blood. Because that's not who she is, especially if she was raised to be a housewife. Like, come on, man. You can't make, and this is why you run across the stuff that we run across, because you're trying to make people be everything. See, this is one thing with Yahuwah. Yahuwah not going to make you be anything other than who you are. Now, what skills do you have that can benefit what I got going on? Could be exhortation. Could be, we read it in Romans 12. It could be any of those things. You know what I'm saying? The only thing anybody wants to do is preach. Again, I'll read Romans 12 again. Nobody wants, if it's prophecy, then prophesy. If it's service, then serve. If it's teach, then teach. If it's exhort, then exhort. If it's rule, then rule. If it's mercy, do it with cheerfulness. Like, these are all multiple things that can be done for the furtherance of his vision. All these things are done to further what he wants accomplished. But we want to do it how we want to do it. Man, One of the biggest problem is with a lot of people is you want to tell somebody how you gonna serve them. You can't tell the king how you gonna serve him. He tells you how you serve him, or you don't serve him at all. You know what I'm saying? And some men don't know how to deal with that. Man, you tell that woman what's required to be in your life. She either gonna want to do that or she's not. That's it. She's either gonna want to do it or she's not. Most people, men, don't know how to do that because you think that's being harsh or mean. Hey, man, if you need a woman who can do 1, 2, and 3, but she do 7, 8, and 9, then hey, bro, that's not gonna work for you, blood. You need to find a woman who can do 1, 2, and 3. It doesn't mean because she do 7, 8, and 9, she's worthless and this, that, there, and the third. It just means she's not the woman for you. So when Yahuwah come through to deal with people, he looking for people who can do what he needs. Because if you can't give me what I need, then he not gonna fool with you. He not gonna fool with you. Because I need 1, 2, and 3. I don't need you to come tell me, oh no, you really need 4, 5, and 6. How you gonna tell me what I need for the vision that I put together? That's why I say, which one of you ever hollered at me? Don't be a Queen Vashti. Yeah. Queen Vashti was a different type of woman. King called for her. She said, I ain't coming. You know what I'm talking about? And one thing why Yahuwah do it, oh, you don't want to come? I'll get rid of you and get another one. More righteous than you. You know what I'm saying? See, Xerxes ain't know how to deal with that. As a man, if that woman don't want to follow your lead, leave her alone. Y'all be fighting and fussing and arguing with people who don't want to do something. Man, I'm not going to argue with you about what you don't want to do. Nasty, nasty. I'm not going to argue with you about what you don't want to do. Let's take a look at that because it shows you from this aspect why it come back later about wives obey your husbands. Come over here to the book of Esther. We may go through Esther when Purim come around. You know, that's not a guarantee. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. This all depends on how it goes. For those of you who don't know, when feasts come around, we don't necessarily do, it's Passover, so we got to read Exodus and do a Passover specific lesson. No, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? If we can intertwine it in with what we're dealing with already, we will. But we just not going to stop what we've been going over to just do something Passover specific or move on. Or how like most Israelites right now is Black History Month, so they want to show you the Bible's Black history. We're not doing that. Never have, never will. I know my grandma say never, but who is my witness? And if it be his will, we will never do the Bible as Black history during the month of February. I find that completely condescending and completely remedial and insulting to the intelligence of every person seeking after the righteous knowledge of the living Elohim to come at you with such remedial information. But that's just my personal opinion. No disrespect to individuals who do it. For real, Mama Steph, that I've always, no, I can't do it. Where is it at? Esther, chapter 1. Esther, chapter 1, and verse 8. And the drinking was according to the law, none did compel, for the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure. Also, Vashti the queen made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to Xerxes. And on the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Muhammad, Biztha, Harbona, Bigatha, Agbatha, Zaatha, and Carcass, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Xerxes the king. You know what? We may come back and deal with this here because there's testimony stuff in here that we ain't dealt with in a long time. So maybe we will come around here in Esther just because it is a multitude in the first 3 chapters of the book of Esther of the testimony of the Son of God that we haven't talked about since at least 2015, 16. I ain't gonna lie to you. To bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal to show the people and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. Then the king said to the wise men which knew the times, for so was the king's manner towards all that knew law and judgment. And next unto him was Karshena, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Meres, Marcina, Mechaman, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face and which sat first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law? Because she have not performed the commandment of the king Xerxes by the chamberlains. Mechamen answered before the king and the princess, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that in the province of King Xerxes. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad to all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes when it shall be reported that King Xerxes commanded Vashti the king to be brought in before him, but she came not. See, he telling, look here, man, if the king's wife don't buckle, he like, what chance do the rest of us stand? Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, when we heard of the deed of the queen, thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the law of the Persians and Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Xerxes, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. That's the first thing you need to understand. Man, if she ain't gonna listen to you, man, look here, it's a woman who better than her. Because, boy, I would be literally damned if I had a woman in my house who I'm taking care of, and she tell me what she is and she ain't gonna do. She gonna get up out of here. You know what I'm talking about? And you can take that and I don't want to, well, what are you doing? I don't want to hear none of that. You not finna gaslight me, manipulate me. No, I ain't trying to hear none of that. Well, if I'm taking care of you and I give instructions and you telling me what you ain't gonna do, I'm gonna tell you what you is gonna do. You finna get the hell up out of here. Because, boy, I will literally be damned if I take care of somebody who gonna buck me on a regular basis. I wish I would. I wouldn't be Rosalind and Anthony's son if I did that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all can do whatever you want to do. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm talking about? Like this here, man. Just like what the Lord say, 2 or 3 witnesses, let the matter be established. Well, you ain't got but 2 times to buck me like that, boy, and I am good. I'm good. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not putting up with that because I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do. This ain't even to disparage the woman. I'm not putting up with that because I don't have to. And that's the mentality you have to have. You ain't supposed to let nobody disrespect you, and you providing for them, and you putting your life on the line for them on a regular basis, and you think you finna sit here and disrespect me? Man, you out your goddamn mind, man. I don't care who don't like it. You know what I'm saying? My mama taught me better than that. You got to be a damn fool. Because you know the reverse, unfortunately, what I done seen in my life, man, let a woman be taking care of you as a man. Boy, you can't disrespect her 3/4 of the way, and she gonna put you out. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't even be able to get the disrespect out your mouth before she tell you, before she had your bag, all your stuff in a garbage bag on the front porch. And y'all niggas sit there and let somebody disrespect you for 10 years. You know what I'm talking about? You'll sit there and let somebody disrespect you for 10 years. Boy, you ain't gonna get the disrespect halfway out your mouth before she bagging your stuff up. Oh yeah, you gotta go, cuz. You can't stay here. One thing about it, when it comes to certain stuff, boy, you can learn from women, boy. Women not playing them type of games, boy. She is not finna take care of you and you gonna disrespect her, cuz. She's not going for that. She is not going for that. You know what I'm saying? Say at my daughter's school this week, they writing something like the law is the rules and commandments, God. Yeah, you know, that's standard. Yeah, that's standard. Oh yeah, man. Look here, man. It comes to certain aspects of interpersonal relationships, mama. That's one thing I can know. It's certain stuff that women do that men should pay attention to, because there's certain stuff that women is not gonna put up with. You know what I'm talking about? They just not gonna put up with it. You know what I'm talking about? But dudes will suffer that junk for 15 years, crying about it every day. She ain't putting up with it. I'm talking about if she taking care of you, she paying all the bills, she buy your drawers, nigga, buy your shoes and all this stuff. You in here, Mr. House Husband? You can't disrespect her like that and think you finna stay in here. She gonna get you up out of here. You can't stay here. You know what I'm talking about? You cannot stay here. She do you the same way. They tell you, yeah, man, you gotta deal with that, brother, you know. You just gotta, just figure out what you're doing to why she don't. Man, you hear me tell you something, man. There's nothing that you can figure out for somebody who has no problem flaunting your authority and disrespecting your instructions. There's nothing to figure out. You know what you need to figure out? What you figured out? They don't give a damn what you say. That's like you trying to figure out why people don't listen to Yahuwah. Ain't nothing to figure out. They don't want to do it. I don't need to go on some type of psychological examination to figure out why you don't follow instructions? But what I can figure out is your lack of desire to follow my instructions will coincide with my lack of desire to allow you to benefit from me. That I will figure out, and I'm going to figure it out quickly. Verse 19, Esther chapter 1. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him. Let it be written among the law of the Persians and Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Xerxes, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. And when the king's decree, which he shall make, shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both small and great. Or great and small. And the saying pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Mechaman. He sent letters into all the king's provinces, and to every province according to the writing thereof, to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house. And it should be published according to the language of every people. Well, you know how serious that is for the king to send a decree to everybody? Hey, man, y'all nigga rule your house, man. Every woman in my kingdom got to respect her husband. Where you think these men get this stuff from when you read this on the back end? But remember, the key thing is your husband. Notice that all the wives to their husbands. If that's not your wife, cuz she don't owe you no honor. And she don't owe you no submission. She don't owe you that. You know what I'm talking about? So stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? Stop being in the word, getting on the internet to my y'all women ain't submissive. Who is you? You ain't dropping no penis in her. You ain't taking care of her. She don't live under your roof. You ain't feeding her. You ain't clothing her. What is she yielding to your authority for? You ain't got no authority over this woman. Are you that miserable of a man, cuz? What's wrong with you niggas, man? Now, I'm not saying any of y'all specifically, but for any of these goofy niggas who come back later and look at this stuff and then decide they want to unsubscribe because they got pierced in their soul because they are old hoe niggas. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I've ran across many men who think every woman they have rule over. Yeah, that's dudes who don't get no women. You know what I'm saying? Any man who's had women in their life know full well that the only women I got authority over is those who are under my sphere of my influence. You know what I'm saying? Now, case in point, right? There are women who are here now. They have husbands. I don't have no rule and authority over them women. They got a husband. Why would you? That's the part I never understood. Why are you in an assembly and you want to have rule and authority over another man's wife? How does that even enter into your brain? Why do you even feel like you're supposed to do that? Why would you want to undermine this man like this? Why would you want to disrespect this man like this? Why would you want to diminish him in the eyesight of his wife and his children? Like, I don't understand these people. Because more than anything, you would want to empower this man to be more of the man that his wife could admire. You know what I'm saying? The same way you would do that for your little brother or your cousin or whatever the case may be. You would want to make sure that you gave him the tools that he could be the man that his wife and his children look to and say, I'm proud to say that this is my husband and this is my father. These sucker niggas want to rule over another niggas' wives, man. Like, what's wrong with you niggas, man? You can't be that much of a damn pervert. You want to say you want every woman, cuz? Like, what's wrong with these niggas, man? Like, I don't understand these people, man. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to make sure that this man can be the best man he can possibly be for his family. You know what I'm saying? That these people look up every morning and say, thank the Lord for my daddy. Thank the Lord for my husband. You know what I'm saying? Because that's her husband, cuz. That's the only man she should be yielding to. That's the only man that should be giving direct instructions to her on a regular basis. It's one thing if we in the assembly and I say, hey, dude, even when you look at how the Lord dealt with women when he was moving around, man, he didn't make demands of the women like that. But these people knew that's the Lord, man. So they wasn't tripping if they wives did X, Y, Z. Because, hey, man, that's the Lord, man. Handle your business. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be over because everybody fooled with each other. Because truth be told, I don't think these people were really concerned with somebody smashing on their wife. These dudes move the way that they do in this present time because all these niggas are perverts. You know what I'm saying? Most of these dudes are more concerned with the fact that they think that their wife either gonna sleep with this man or this man gonna try to sleep with their wife. And I'm gonna tell you something. If you go somewhere and your woman in the room and you always concerned with you think she finna fool with another man, you married a whore. And that means you married the wrong woman, man. Because you should not be, if you overly concerned with your wife catching the attention of other men and this, that, that, and the third, bro, your wife the whore, bro. You can't handcuff her, man. Take them handcuffs off, man. Tell her, hey, man, let your hair down, baby, and stand up. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that to yourself. You're going to make your life miserable. You're going to kill her and you. Like, you got to talk to, man, if you see, listen, man, you know how they say don't let your friends do drugs or don't let your friends skip leg day? Man, don't let your friends marry whores, man. That man tell you a whore is like a deep pit. You're going to fall in. I ain't say that. I'm talking about a whore. Y'all know what a whore is. And she ain't got to be no whore because she having sex with a whole bunch of people. If you cannot identify the mind frame and mindset of a whore, you're going to have a very difficult time out here on these streets, man. Talking about moving on some word. Because that means you ain't even going to be able to identify a wicked man. Being a whore is a mindset. It's not just the giving away a vagina. It is a mindset. It's way bigger than just having sex. You know what I'm saying? If you can't identify the mind of a harlot, man, you in trouble. Yeah, you in trouble. I tell you that for years, man. Beyonce is a whore. That's a married woman, though. You know what I'm talking about? But she transmits through her music the mindset of a harlot. You know what I'm saying? If you listen closely, if you listen to the word, y'all be more worried about Sexy Red. Sexy Red open that she a whore. You know what I'm saying? You should already know that's a hood chick. The type of chick Sexy Red is, if you've been in the hood, you probably done seen 10, 15 chicks like Sexy Red. I don't even know why you throw about her. Beyonce is the type of harlot that you should be worried about because she seems classy and dainty, but the whole time she's rebellious and destructive and devouring because she out to devour minds and souls. Sexy Red can't devour nobody because you know that's a hoe when she coming. Yeah, absolutely, no, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know why people be mad with Sexy Red, man. What you expect from her? That's a hood chick, man. But then I have to remember, everybody ain't been in the hood, so they don't know what a hood chick look like to even ignore something like that. Sexy Red type of chick, man, it's only a certain type of dude have sex with her. It's only a certain type of dude entertain her. Average, everyday dude, she's not even going to pay attention to because you're not going to do it for her. And if your daughters are persuaded by somebody like Sexy Red and y'all not from that environment, then that speaks to the piss poor execution you've done as a father to let a low level woman have that strong of an influence over your daughter. Because that's a low level woman, man. So just imagine if your daughter's influenced by a low level woman's music, what type of influence do her peers have? Because as a man, you should strive to be the number one influence in your household. That's what Yahuwah strive for. Now, is that a guarantee you're going to be the number one influence? No, I can't guarantee you that. But what you can strive to be is the number one influence in your household in every way possible. And if that means you need to read more, study more, sit with wiser men, then you need to do whatever you need to do to be able to increase yourself so that you can have that strong level of influence in your household. But that means you have to be a certain caliber of man who demands and commands respect of those under your charge because you dwell with them according to knowledge. You dwell with them according to mercy and understanding. You dwell with them according to wisdom and instruction and the truth, aka Amuna, Amath, and Aman, a level of faithfulness, so that when you impart these things, they know that these are the things that you actually live so that you can actually bestow honor to the weaker vessel. So you can show that level of respect. Because that's what that word meant for honor is reverence and respect. How you don't gonna have respect for your wife? Like, how does that work? I don't understand. I don't understand what these niggas got going on out here. That junk is just absolutely, utterly insane to me. But when you look at how it's a continual pain in childbirth, I want you to come over here to conception. I'll give you the brief synopsis so we can get off of here. What we're gonna pick up on Friday when it comes to this on the twofold side. It's verse 16. I said 15. I apologize. We can deal with your desire be to your husband. That's really not the focus of what I'm trying to focus on. But you can see your desire being to your husband and he rule over you is another witness of what you've seen in Esther, of why you see that repeatedly mentioned about wives, submit yourselves to your husbands. I didn't finish 1 Corinthians 9 either, did I? I'm sorry. Come back to verse 19. You know what I'm saying? Where it come from? But again, as we talk about that, he that ruleth amongst men must be just. So just because you have rule over your house does not mean that you're a douchebag. Does not mean that you're a tyrant. That's not what that means. Now, some people are different. Like, Mom Steph talk about all the time, like her father was a colonel. So the type of military discipline and imparting of things is going to be different based off of his background. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that he was a tyrant. It just meant that he had a certain standard in how he communicated things for things to be done in a certain way to produce the particular success and result that he wanted to produce. Everybody different. But then you also have to look at your children. You can't be hard charging on your child and you see your child don't have the mental makeup to handle that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, the thing that you have to look at is, do you want to be successful or do you just want to do it how you want to do it? You have to look at, do you want the result? What's more important, the result or how you got to the result? Because some people just have to do it their way and then they mad when they don't get the result. Then some people be like, hey, if we need to do it like this to get it done, then that's what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? And like doing the type of work that I be doing, you know what I'm saying? Sylvia can tell you, if Jimmy was here, he could tell, we can look at certain stuff and, hey, man, we might try it this way. And he like, hey, we do it like this here, it'll be easy. And he do it like that and that work. We going with what work. You know what I'm saying? We're not going with who had the idea or we going to try my idea. I don't give a damn about that. If that's what works, we going with what works. Because the result is to get it done. And at the end of the day, that's all I care about. That's all the client care about is that we get it done. Who cares how you got there? Who cares who get the credit? Did the result that we desired, did we get it? That's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? That's all that matters. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 19. For though I be free from all men, yet I've made myself a servant unto all that I might gain the more. And unto the Yahudim I became as a Yahudim, that I might gain the Yahudim. To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. To them that are without the law, as without the law, being not without the law to Elohim, but under the law to Hamashiach, which meaning they're not under to he that believe on me, as the scripture have said, that I might gain them that are without the law. To the weak become I as weak, that I might gain the weak. I made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be a partaker thereof with you. See, wicked niggas will tell you, see, Paul compromising, he doing this, that, there, and the third. These are niggas who are unskillful in reaching people. It's not compromising. I'm going to comport myself in a way to get the result that I'm after. So if you a Jew, then I'm going to communicate to you like a Jew. If you one without the law, then I'm going to communicate to you like that. If you weak, then I'm going to become weak so I can reap whatever I need to do in order to get the result. That doesn't mean that I have to compromise my integrity. It doesn't mean I have to compromise my values. It don't mean I have to dishonor myself. I'm putting my pride to the side because I am more concerned with winning a soul. This is the literal manifestation that he that wins souls is wise, because that's skill what he talking about. This is a people's business. This is a people's business. If you want to open up your mouth and say, I want to proclaim the greatness and goodness of the Almighty Elohim, Yahuwah of his host is his name, that you would need to understand that this is a people's business. You are in the business of administering service to people. That means you would need to know how to interact with people. You would need to know how to talk to people. You would need to know how to reach people. You would need to know how to comfort people. You would need to have a love, care, and concern for people. If you don't have that, you will be grossly ineffective. Grossly. Because you're going to want to do it your way. Instead of, hey, if this is what I need to do to reach them, then that's what I'm going to do. Shalom, Brother Shaul. That's right, Brother Herman, man. It's not difficult. This is all a part about dwelling with your wife according to knowledge, skill. A lot of dudes be worrying about, man, she don't do, man, look here, man, you want her to do what you want her to do, or you care about how happy she is when she do it, or is it about the result, bro? Do you want the result, or do you just want to be able to say, they did it how I told them to do it? I don't give a damn how we get there. We just need to get there. You know what I'm talking about? But when we deal with the conception part, let me get off it because it's 9:30. And of course, conception in Genesis 3:16 is Heron. Hey, Rosh, U, and Noon. This is physical conception, pregnancy, conception. So he said he will greatly multiply your sorrows in conception. And the part of this that we're going to deal with is how he extends honor to the weaker vessel. I started off with this. Come over here to 1 Timothy 3, I believe. Because there's no way that I can try to lay some of this stuff out. It'll be it'll have too many holes in it, if you would, to where you're not going to be able to pick up what I'm putting down. I said chapter 3. I'm sorry, y'all. It's chapter 2. I can pick it up in verse 9. And I don't really want to do that, because then it ain't going to make no sense. 1 Timothy 2:9. In like manner also that women adore themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair, gold or pearls or costly array, but which become women professing godliness with good works. But the women learn in silence with all subjection. I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith, love, kadash, and sobriety. Now, we talked about this in the past, how Mashiach, him being made male and female, that he went through childbirth during his crucifixion and subsequent death as a means to be able to be an aid, a help, and a comfort, a relief to a woman in childbirth, because he was saved in childbearing through his faith, through his love, through his sanctification, and through his discipline, which is sobriety here. That's why he was able, can he bring forth a nation in one day? You know what I'm saying? Shall he shut the womb? But that's another conversation for another day. Some of y'all heard it before, some of you haven't. I probably have to revisit it because we're talking about conception. Some people going to argue he didn't give birth. I don't care. One thing I'm going to tell y'all, man, the more you dig off into the testimony of the Son of God, you have to be less concerned about people who don't believe it. Okay, they don't believe it, so what? So what? They didn't believe it when he was walking the earth. They didn't believe it when he was hanging on the stake. They didn't believe it when they put him in the grave. They didn't believe it after he resurrected from the dead. They didn't believe it when he sent the Ruach HaKodesh from the apostles and they preached it. Most of them didn't believe it when the apostles were going through the land and preaching it. You think it's going to be different in so-called 2025? Why are you so bent out of shape by it? Because they don't believe it. Why are you so emotionally invested in that? Man, drop the word and move on. If they believe it, they believe it. If they don't, they don't. Do you need their validation for you to believe it? Because you should have been fully persuaded before you said it. You know what I'm saying? I'm fully persuaded. I don't care. I remember we was having a conversation with a gentleman who don't believe in the Lord. And when I mentioned how it tell you when he put the coat of skins that I mentioned that that's a linen tunic and how that's representative of the fine linen, clean and right, which is the righteousness of the saints. When they tried to cover up their sin with their own fig leaves, you tried to cover it up of your own doing. God had to do it. No, that ain't talking about that. Okay, it ain't talking about that then. You think I'm finna keep fighting and pushing with him to make? I don't care. I'm fully persuaded and convinced. I don't need your validation or acceptance. If this man has revealed his son, and when I say this, meaning that he's opened your eyes, that you and your ears and your heart, that you can receive him and understand, who cares who don't receive it? Just give thanks to the Father in heaven that he drew you to the Son, because the Son told you no man can come to the Father except the Son draw him. So if the Father ain't drew him to the Son, what business of that is yours? Who cares? Like, I don't care. That's why you don't see me battling with this stuff. Like I've been had conversations with people who don't believe in the Lord. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a desire to revisit that. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I told you, Will want me to go back stepping on them niggas' necks with that. And if the Lord allow it, I ain't got no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't mind knocking niggas out like Pretty Boy Floyd in his prime. But I don't got no problem with that. But it is exhausting. Talking to people who don't believe in Mashiach is exhausting. It is mentally exhausting. I'm not going to say it's spiritually exhausting, but it is mentally exhausting. You know what I'm saying? It's just the juice ain't worth the squeeze. It just ain't. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be disrespectful. They're going to be rude. They're not going to listen to nothing you're saying. They're not going to answer any questions that you pose. They're just going to obfuscate and move around from questions that they know that they can't answer as it pertains to the actual workings of the salvation of God. It's not worth it. It's just not. And they're going to blaspheme. And once they go to blaspheming, I'm done. Because I've told, well, some of y'all ain't heard that. Don't sit around people who willfully blaspheme. Remove yourself. When you read Acts 19, and it said the men began to blaspheme that sanctified way, Paul left. He didn't sit there and keep on going. He left. All right, cool then. Go to hell. What that mean to me? Because that's when we end up wasting time on people who don't want what you're selling, when you could be spending more time with people who do. So yeah, man, you know, people, we finna wrap up. That's why I'm mentioning this here. You know, people back in the days, man, they used to always come because, you know, I was the dude who they knew like, oh man, he preached the Lord out the book, this, that, there, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So they want to come grab me and get on this conference call and do this here and talk to these people. You know what I'm saying? And after a while of doing it, I'm like, yeah, I can't keep doing this. I'm not gonna keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? It's for what? Nigga want to fight and all this type of stuff. Because what these people are banking on is this, that you don't know the word for real. Let me tell y'all something about the majority of people who don't believe in Mashiach. They don't know the word like that. They don't know the word like that. Not like you think they do. They posture like they do, but they really spend time talking about the same things on a regular basis. I told you this, these people don't comprehensively consume the word of Elohim in its totality for a whole holistic and comprehensive and exhaustive understanding of who Yahuwah is and what his perfect and just and Kadash will is. They have talking points. They have bullet points for disputes and arguments. So they really don't know the word like that. And if you know the word like that, you can stumble them up quite easily. It's not even that difficult, because they're used to talking to people about certain things. Everybody going to talk about Psalm 22. Everybody going to talk about Isaiah 53. Everybody's going to mention Daniel 7. You're going to want to talk to them about a virgin birth. You're going to mention Isaiah 7. Niggas don't even pay attention to Isaiah 7. They say before the woman had the child of no good and evil, it won't even be no king sitting in Israel. Niggas don't even pay attention to that. If it's this child, it was king sitting in Israel. So clearly it's not talking about him, because that's what it's saying. But you only focusing on the stuff that you want to argue about, man. If you want to be a skillful technician and deconstructing the wicked, then be wise like the man told you to and know the book in its totality, because you can finish the conversation in less than a few minutes and move on about your day. Because I ain't got time for them niggas. Because I'm going to punch them niggas dead in the mouth. I'm going to get it over with. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Mike Tyson. I'm not trying to go 12 rounds with you. I need this done by the second round. I got 2 prostitutes to fornicate with and cocaine to snort. That's what Mike was doing back then. He said he had whores to tend to and drugs to use. Got time to be in here all night with you. You got to do them niggas the same way. You know what I'm saying? You got to do them the same way, because you're wasting your time. Or you can just focus on the saints and strengthen and embolden them that they can continue to fight the good fight of faith. You know what I'm saying? And we could just be off to the cut. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody different though, because, you know, I got homeboys, they like to spar. You know what I'm saying? They like to get in there and mix it up with people. That was never my thing. My homeboy used to want to do that when we would see them brews on the street. Man, we gonna cut these niggas up. I'm like, man, I ain't really on that blood. I don't really want to I don't really want to talk to these people, man. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. I really don't. But hey, some of you might. So I want to give you the tools and the ability for you to be able to be successful at that endeavor if that's the road that you choose to go down. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking that if that's the road you choose to go down, but I at least want to be able to equip you to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Just don't call me. You know what I'm talking about? Because yeah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Every now and then, but like on a regular basis, I had my time. I retired. So the aspect when we're looking at conception is the pain that a woman will have in pregnancy. We're going to equate that to the pain that you go through, even though you're not necessarily pregnant, but the pain that one goes through to be birthed through the seed or through the word to become a son or daughter of God. To look at how he again extends honor to the weaker vessel. You know what I'm talking about? And I'll say this again. If a woman has taken the time to carry your child and squat in a birthing pool, over a birthing stool, or lay down in a hospital bed and bore your children, there should be a certain level of respect and honor that should be given to that woman on general principle. You know what I'm talking about? Just on general principle, because she had your children. And if a nigga don't respect that, I got two words for you. Google Degeneration X, and you know what they gonna say if you're not familiar. Straight up and down. There should be a certain general principle. She should have a certain level of respect. You know what I'm saying? And that can be part of the aspect of lending honor to the weaker vessel. Because like I said, man, we supposed to love each other, man. How you don't love your wife? You don't love yourself. You know what I'm saying? And how you don't respect your husband? That means you don't respect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Stop focusing on what you don't. See, you know why people don't get what they like? Because you always focusing on what you don't like. You say you used to get whippings for that? I was good in almost of age at that point. But we weren't running around doing that at that time. At least we weren't. But you know what I'm saying? We did enjoy their work. So hallelujah for Yahushua and the work. But yeah, man, stop focusing on what you don't like. You know what I'm saying? When you always focusing on what you don't like, you'll never be able to see and experience or come across the things that you do like, because you're always focusing in on the negative. And why would you do that? Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? I told you before, I don't talk about fragrances I don't like. I'm only going to talk about the ones that I do. And this one here, I not only like it, yes, sir, so I absolutely love it. It is Black History Month, quote unquote. This is a Black fragrance house. Suave Fair, man, check them out. Absolutely amazing. Soul Cafe. It will definitely make her loins throb, if that's what you're after. Hey, man, brother, I'm trying to tell you. Get you a bottle. You'll like it. Well, at least buy you a sample. They sell samples on there. But yeah, man. Again, we talk about that aspect. You show honor to the weaker vessel. For the usefulness of her husband. And oh yeah, China been dead for a long time. Amen, brother Margaret, man. Love you too, bro. Yeah, China OD. China was on drugs, man. Bad. She was doing pornos and everything. Did a couple pornos with X-Pop. Oh, D-Generation X was a wrestling faction originally composed of Rick Rude, who has also passed away. A wrestler named China, whose real name was Joni. Something, she passed away. Triple H and Shawn Michaels. They were called Degeneration X because they were in a feud with Bret Hart, and he came out one day and said that they were a bunch of degenerates in a promo. And then after that, they began to be called Degeneration X. And now Degeneration X actually runs WWE. Ain't that amazing? Yeah, Rick Rude died of heart failure. Like I say, China OD. China had a hard life, and she self-medicated with narcotics and prescription drugs and things of that sort. Triple H never did drugs. Shawn Michaels was on drugs real bad. Then he found Jesus, and he decided he didn't want to do drugs and be an alcoholic and a whore anymore. So good for him. You know what I'm saying? Some people look at it, but his doctrine false, and it very well may be. But that doctrine stopped him from getting high and destroying his life. So I'm not going to speak negative about that. You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes I'll be so focused on the doctrine and sit back and look at, hey man, it's about the conduct. You can straighten out the doctrine. Your doctrine right, but your conduct sour. So what good is that? Yeah, Rick Rude died from a heart attack. It said it was from a accidental overdose. You know what I'm saying? We were just talking about that the other day because Judah said Val Venus was Rick Rude's son, and I'm like, bro, that is not his son. I think he said he OD'd. He was taking a narcolepsy drug. OD'd off of that. Yeah, mixed medications. Yeah, he had a narcolepsy drug he was taking. He was taking too many pills. I don't think necessarily to get high, but just, and that's the danger of medications, man, because you can mix the wrong medications, man. That's unkill you, man. That's why you got to make sure you be involved and just don't be taking what them people be getting you. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to what they talking about. Say Chris Benoit, man, lost a. Yeah, you know, and this we were talking about. You know, it's a lot of people don't think he killed his wife and his kids. I don't know clearly because I wasn't there. That whole story weird though. You know, it's some things, man, in life you want, and I ain't gonna tell you no lie, and it's just how my mind works, right? Like when Judgment Day come, you know what I'm saying, and it be certain mysteries. I wonder if the Lord gonna let us see what really happened. You know what I'm talking about? Like when people come up to judgment, is we gonna see what really happened on just certain things that don't nobody really know what went down. You know what I'm saying? Will he do that? I don't know. But I think about that sometimes, man. You know what I'm saying? Is he gonna show like let us all see? Yeah, it was this wicked bastard right here. This is what really happened. You know what I'm saying? No, for real, Joseph, bro. Like I do like I be thinking about something. I'm trying to think of something specifically that's kind of like a mysterious happening. Usually, I'm talking about somebody who done lost their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, is we gonna find out who really did that? And like it be known. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, straight up and down. Like, you know, Yahuwah knows. You know, some things ain't for us to know. But you know, I think about things like that from time to time. Cause some of these niggas need to be exposed. But like we were talking about earlier though, when this wicked nigga, what he said earlier, man, don't be like that in his word, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like that about a couple dollars or some vittles. You know what I'm saying? And somebody in the word hungry, or even not in the word hungry, and you don't show no mercy and compassion on them, but you always got the word in your mouth, you evil as hell. You know what I'm saying? You evil as hell, man. Like case in point, right? Like we know what happened in general on 9/11, but will the Lord really, will he let us really know, like, no, this is what really went down? As he's judging the individuals who was involved. Like, clearly it's not like, he's like, hey, y'all, let me show you what happened on 9/11. I mean, like, when the people who when it's time for them to stand before that judgment seat, will we be able to let it be known, like, yeah, you the one who did that, cause you put that in motion. You know what you did. You know what I'm talking about? You know what you were involved with. You know how you played it. That's what I mean when I say that, because obviously it's not like you're gonna run a movie projector so you can see what happened. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of preposterous. But yeah, I mean stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? There's just a lot of wicked men who done did a lot of wicked things and they done went in their grave thinking that they done got away. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like that to those of us who are on the outside, but you know, that's none of our concern to a certain extent. Case in point, like we read the other day, some of the pieces of the MLK files, and okay, what if this man was an adulterous whoremonger? What if he really was that? You still gonna be mad because you want to try to protect? You know what I'm saying? That's right. There's no secrets, only mysteries. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Like people get mad, they trying to destroy his reputation. So if the Lord showed you he was a whoremonger, is the Lord trying to destroy his reputation? Or is it that he just was a whoremonger and you just didn't want to accept it? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. That man ain't above reproach. That man is not above condemnation. If he moving opposite of what the righteousness of God is, he got to take that. You know what I'm saying? You can say, well, he did civil rights, and that's all fine and good. That's not going to cause you to escape the hellfire if you contrary to his will and you died like that. Because that's us judging it according to our standard. But Yahuwah has a standard. And you have to meet that standard. And that standard don't get lowered for nobody. You can do a lot of great things in life and still go to hell. This man literally said there were men who will come to me and say, we did many wonderful works in your name. We taught in your streets. And he gonna say, bro, I don't know you, cuz. Why is you at my door? Like, do not know, but do people just say that verse? But do you understand? We ain't talking about no natural stuff. We ain't talking about no natural stuff. These men say, we've done many wonderful works in your name. We prophesied in your name. We taught in the streets in your name. And he gonna say, hey man, get away from me, bro. I don't know you. Why are you knocking at my door? I don't know you. And you think he care about this natural stuff you doing? Now I left out the part when he said you workers of iniquity. You think he care about this natural stuff you did that seems so great in the eyesight of men? These men were preaching in his name. And he say, nah, boy, y'all boys work perversion and wickedness, bro. I don't know you, nigga. Stay away from me, bro. Get away from me. In Luke, I think he literally says, like, why is you knocking at my door? Let me find that for you, bro. But that's cold, bro. That's a cold thing to hear, man. That should make people reassess their lives, man. But people think it's a game. But people don't want to hear that, man. I said, man, when I first got the word, first time I read that, I'm like, boy, that's amazing. Luke 13, verse 25. Who you telling, Joseph? He said, once the master, verse 24, strive to enter in at the straight gate. For many I say unto you will seek to enter in and shall not be able. When once the master of the house is risen up and has shut to the door, and you begin to stand without and knock at the door, saying, Lord, Lord, open unto us, he shall answer and say unto you, I know you not whence you are. Then you shall begin to say, we have eaten and drunk in your presence, and have taught, and you have taught in our streets. But he shall say, I tell you, I know not whence you are. Depart from me, you workers of iniquity. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth when you shall see Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all the prophets in the kingdom of God, and you yourselves are thrust out. These people say, man, you taught in our streets, cuz. Man, I don't know you. Stop knocking on my door. Then, of course, everybody know the one in Matthew. That's the one where you talk about, man, they were teaching and whatnot. And Matthew 7 and 22, many will come to me in that day. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name? And in your name have cast out devils, and in your name done many wonderful works? And I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. These men say, we casting out devils, we working miracles and signs and wonders. And he said, man, I don't know you, cuz. Now, y'all know that from Acts, when he said the men was doing them, casting out them unclean spirits. And that unclean spirit said, Yahushua, we know. Paul, we know. But who are you? So one thing for certain, two things for sure. You know what I'm talking about? Casting out devils and working miracles do not mean God with you. That don't mean that. You know what I'm saying? You could do that and God still don't be with you. And that's an ugly reality. You know what I'm talking about? That's an ugly reality. No, it's not that he only know his apostles. The unclean, and we talked about that some years back. Satan, the unclean spirits, all of them know who belong to Yahuwah because your name written in heaven. They already know your name is on the genealogy list that's mentioned in Genesis 2. You know what I'm saying? You in the genealogy, you in the toll of death, if you would. So those who have a name in heaven, the unclean spirits already know this. That's why they was like, we know who you is. You Yahushua, the Son of God. Like they already know. Because your name is actually it's written up there. You're just not some random person. Like you related to this man by spirit, not by blood. You understand what I'm saying? So they know who you are. They already know. That's why I said to those men who was casting them out, they said, oh, because remember it said these were exorcists, vagabond Jews. They didn't have a spirit. Let me read it to you. Just in case somebody else ain't familiar. This is in Acts 19, by the way. Acts 19 and 11. Elohim wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, so that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and diseases departed from them, and evil ruachs went out of them. Then certain of the vagabond Yahudim exorcists took upon them to call over them which had evil ruachs in the name of Lord Yahushua, saying, we adjure you by Yahushua, whom Paul preached. And there were 7 sons of Sceva, a Yahudim, chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil ruach answered and said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are you? Notice that it said they took it upon themselves to do it. Because he didn't dwell in them and they didn't dwell in him. So your name ain't like, that's why he said, who are you? We don't know you. That's the same again when you say, depart from me, you work of iniquity. I never knew you. Meaning, Yah, I haven't experienced you. I don't know you. So just because somebody preaching the word, that don't mean God know them. Just because individuals dropping information, that don't mean God know them. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you have to be more concerned with actually him knowing you and you knowing him than how much information you can dispense. Information is not necessarily a sign that God with you. Being able to perform miracles. Those men could have went out and cast spirits and everybody could have thought Yahuwah was with him and he ain't with them. They still had the ability to do it. You know what I'm saying? They were literally casting out unclean spirits. And God wasn't with them. You know what I'm saying? So we could probably discuss that on the Sabbath. It's a hard truth, but it is what it is. But I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all at the house of Elohim in the name of Yahshua. I love y'all. Yahuwah willing, man. We'll be back at it on the Sabbath. Make it do what it do. What that is? Purim is on March the 1st. What day that is? All right, now no. That's right. You're gonna be hitting the road soon. You'll be safe on that road. What day the first on? P10K. When the brother just say he came back from going, it's on the Sabbath. Thank you, man. So that's on the Saturday. So that's double up. One of the brothers just said he came from seeing his grandma. Well, he had me dying laughing what he said. His grandma said to them, "Hey man, be safe out here, bro." You know what I'm saying? She getting prepared to go ahead and make her transition, man. And that's why I always tell you in situations, Shalom, Officers Regina, in these situations, man, if you got beef, at odds, disagreement, because I don't want to say beef, because most beef ain't that serious. Because beef is when I see you, I'm gonna do something to you. Most people ain't got no beef. If you at odds with somebody, man, I ain't gonna tell you no lie, man. Man, go ahead and patch that up, man. Get that junk together, man. Because the last thing you want to do is see somebody laying on a slab or in a casket, and you ain't had no opportunity to straighten that out by some nonsense, some junk that probably wasn't even that serious. You know what I'm talking about? Something that could have really been solved if you just put your pride and ego to the side and sit down and have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? If this is about somebody that you say you love and care about, man, that junk ain't even that serious, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Go see about your people. You know what I'm talking about? If you got some stuff right, man, patch that up. Make sure you got yourself patched up with the Lord, man. You know what I'm talking about? Keep your game tight in your mind, right? You know what I'm saying? And enjoy the time you got here. You know what I'm saying? You got a chance to you know what I'm saying, with whether it's your wife, your husband, your kids, your friends, your family, you know, maximize that time with them, boy. Cause boy, one day you're here, boy, the next day you're gone, boy. You know what I'm saying? And if you know your people going through it, man, holla at them people, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't you ain't got to have no drawn out conversation. Sometimes people just want, man, you'll be surprised the strength you can give to somebody just on the simple fact that you show that you cared. You know what I'm saying? That can do a lot for people, man, when they the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you could have did anything else, but you just want to be to know, hey boy, I'm just making sure you're good, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Just tapping in with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Some people need, hey man, shoot, don't get hard out here, man. Stop thinking you the only person out here got stuff going on, man. Everybody got something going on. Everybody got something going on. People not hollering at you ain't necessarily because they don't give a damn about you. Because while you sitting around talking about ain't nobody hollering at you, ain't nobody hollering at them either. So I guess we just all like don't nobody give a damn about each other at this point. And that's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Don't be so selfish to think you the only person got something going on, man. Everybody got something going on. Yeah, but man, I mean that though. Don't be walking around here mad with people you got love for, man, about stuff that's insignificant, man. Go on, man. Go on, put your pride to the side, man. Make that phone call and get that junk straightened out. You know what I'm saying? Because you do not want to be sitting back like, damn, man, this nigga died, man. We were going through it at the time. And about what? Because unless somebody did something like really egregious, you wouldn't care about you going through it with him anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because they done crossed the boundary that can't be. We can't come back after this. So if it ain't that serious, man, go patch that junk up, man. Man, we too old to not have conflict resolution skills, man, about people we claim we love and care about. We too old for that. You know what I'm saying? Put your pride to the side, man, and go see about your people, man. And I ain't just saying it just to say it. Anybody who know who been around here, I've been saying it the whole 13 years. Go see about your people, man. It's not that serious, man. It's not that serious. I say if it's that serious, you wouldn't be fooling with them anyway, so it wouldn't matter. It's not that serious, man. Go see about your people, man. Don't be sitting around here looking ugly, man. Go see your people. When I see me go see your people, man, go pull up on your mama if you can pull up on your mama. Man, go pull up on your homeboy if you can pull up on your homeboy. Go pull up on your siblings, your cousins, your aunties, your grandparents, whoever it might be. Because you ain't going to never know when it's the last time you're going to see them. Alive, I should say. You know what I'm saying? So, go see your people. You know what I'm talking about? I feel you on that. You ain't for going to bed mad. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't that definitely, especially book take that. Don't let the sun go down on your anger, man. We talk about that one before we get yourself in trouble. Say most kings had to sit down before. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even talking about if it's just beef, man. Like, shoot, man. I know life get hectic, this, that, there, and the third. But man, shoot, if you able to go see your people, man, go see your people, man. Shoot. Your grandma probably be happy you come around there and come see her, man. Plus, this is something we learned a long time ago. When people get older, you know what I'm saying? A lot of their peers been done passed away, or their spouses been done passed away. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, they just be wanting somebody to talk to. Just somebody sit around kicking with them. You know how many jobs we done went to, and it was older people there, man. We really could have been in and out. We really just stressed the job out because they just happy to have somebody over there, somebody to talk to. They ain't really talking about nothing. It don't even matter they ain't talking about nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just enjoying the company. You know what I'm saying? Your granddaddy probably want to see you. You know what I'm saying? Your daddy probably want to see you. Shoot, your brother, like I said, different. You know what I'm saying? If it's possible, I'll pull up on you. Call or not. Because you don't never know, man. I'm trying to tell you. You don't never know when you're not going to be here no more. Or they not going to be here no more. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to have it in your brain, be like, damn, I should have went over there and went and seen them. When you know you could have went, but you ain't want to go for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I'm finna go to bed. Get your sleep. They gonna be up in about 45 minutes because these niggas don't sleep long. You get up and climb into bed and just look at you in the face. You know what I'm talking about? Joanne just get out of bed and just walk in there and climb in the bed and look at you in the face. You know what I'm saying? Why are you awake? You're welcome, Mama Steph. Why are you awake? You know what I'm saying? And then they had the nerve to want to get up like they got a job. You know what I'm talking about? Why are you up at 6:30? You know what I'm saying? Why are you up at 7 o'clock? Where are you going? You don't have anywhere to go. Shalom, brother Ernest, man. But yeah, y'all willing, man. We'll be back at it on Saturday. I know that boy already sleeping.